in Atlanta, Georgia. Super Bowl 53. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Marcel Robinson, and Stuart Weber still with us. They will join us. And Justin Kuzar back in Jacksonville, feeling oh so lonely in the room by himself. Kuz is pushing all the buttons. We've got a big show lined up again. Hey, it's hopping here in Atlanta. It is really hopping. We've seen just about everybody. All the stars are out, Austin Lane.
The pace has definitely picked up today. Yesterday you saw a little bit of it, but today, I mean, you name the celebrities, we've seen them. You know, Charlotte Flair. We actually have a surprise guest coming on, hopefully in the next couple minutes, who everybody should know. So it's been an exciting day, kind of seeing everybody in passing, and seeing some old teammates as well.
Yeah, Charlotte Flair is not coming on. You saw her outside.
Well,
right?
I was on my scooter, man, and I would have loved to stop by and say what's up, but unfortunately, when I'm scooting, man, I'm focused, and I'm just trying to, crush some pavement. So unfortunately, Charlotte Flair is going to have to wait for another time.
Yeah, and we saw Herschel Walker.
Yeah,
right.
Herschel,
you said hello to him. Talked
well,
about the football and MMA guy.
Yeah, he's really the kind of the first guy to do that. He's definitely the pioneer. I'm gonna be honest with you, Brent. Still looks like he could probably fight today.
It's unbelievable.
Dude's in crazy shape. Ridiculous.
We're trying to get him on, or maybe we'll have him on at some point. But obviously, he's
I'm sure he's in pretty high demand.
Yeah, I think he's in high demand. But the request is in on a lot of people too. And just to set the scene, I guess we always assume, and I shouldn't assume. Everybody's seen Radio Row, and so you kind of know what it looks like. And it's really just this collage of stars from all worlds. Mm-hmm. Here in Atlanta, big music hotbed, right? Yeah. So you got a lot of musicians. You have sometimes actors and actresses that come by. In the past, we've seen Alyssa Milano, you name it. Then you have your sports stars, right? And not only your current sports stars, but your legends, whether it's Pro Football Hall of Famers or just names that you know from the last few decades. So the Herschel Walkers, Juju Smith-Schuster's here. So that's the yesterday and today. And I've seen Dan Marino a couple times here today. So that's kind of the way it is. But all these networks and all these different stations and radio stations, TV stations, now digital platforms are all here in this World Congress Center. And it's a massive place, and they've done a nice job spreading it all out. But everybody's putting in requests. Everybody's chasing these guys out, and they all have handlers, which you'll have someday, Austin Lane. You'll have a handler.
Of course.
And you basically have to just try to talk that handler into giving you a few minutes.
Yeah. So thankfully, the guest coming up here, I actually had a connection with him, so I kind of spoke with him directly and got something set up here. And then, we talked to his handler and squared everything away. So it does help, having played in the league a little bit. You know a lot of people, obviously, and you meet people in passing. So it's definitely an advantage for sure. But at the same time, there's some people where, they're on a different level, basically, Brent, and you have to go through the handler.
Well, and some of the things, and it's a little different now. Like, I approach this from a TV perspective in these last few years only. Mm-hmm. And, you go grab whatever you can get. You need 30 seconds here or there or 20 seconds here or there, and you put a story together on these guys. Not a lot of long-form interviews like we do on Radio Row. And so what you start doing now is we know we're going to be at Super Bowls for years to come, and it's good making connections and say, okay, we can't get you this year. Let's get on your schedule for next year when you come here again. And that's kind of how it works. We're looking at Evander Holyfield right now, stopping at every single place. By the way, I think he has steak as well.
Oh, really?
And Deontay Wilder,
I'm starving.
The heavyweight champ, Deontay Wilder, is scheduled to join us in just a couple moments. And that's what you always have to do when you go to Radio Row, and when we have a show and say scheduled.
Yes.
Because you never know if they're actually going to get over here to your table. But we're pretty confident that Deontay Wilder will be here in just a few minutes. Earlier today, I got a chance to actually went and found this guy. He wasn't here on Radio Row, but I had a chance to speak to Kyle Rudolph, the Minnesota Vikings tight end. Just a short interview, but obviously my point in doing that was trying to find a little bit more about John DeFilippo. Mm-hmm. And he was with the Vikings last year with Kyle Rudolph, who's a sensational tight end. And a little bit later on in the program, you hear my interview with Kyle Rudolph and his thoughts on John DeFilippo. But we have so many interviews from the last couple of days and today to get to here on the show, including this one's interesting. The guy that directed Deion's double play, the 30 for 30 that will debut tonight.
Can't wait.
And interesting backstory on Deion Sanders, how that came together. He also was the director for the two Bills, Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells. So if you like the 30 for 30s, I think you'll find this conversation pretty interesting a little bit later on in the show. So You went over to the NFL Experience. That's attached to this building, not just Radio Row, but if you're a fan, you try to come here, you see all the celebs, but you also go to the NFL Experience and just act like you're 7 years old again. How was it?
Well, I don't want to give everything away, Brent, but the fact of the matter is, and we have footage to prove this, my draft stock at quarterback just skyrocketed.
Oh.
Todd McShay, Mel Kiper, they're gonna have my name in their mouth a lot coming up here. So I apologize if if I can't come to the show a lot now, Brent, because I put my name on the map at quarterback.
Yeah, you better go get to work then. Throw it around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the way I was throwing it, Brent, I think I'm all good. I'm ready to get that phone call on day one and just go play right away.
So you're balling, and my guess would you've been falling. So you're balling instead. Congratulations. What else did you do over there? You threw the football? You run the 40?
No, but we did kick a field goal. Well, I tried to kick a field goal. I put it back at 30 yards for Cody Parkey. I tried to have a little redemption on his behalf. Unfortunately, didn't go my way. The first one was close. Second one, I'm not going to lie, Brent, almost tore my ACL. And kicking in van slip-ons probably isn't ideal.
Yeah,
and the turf conditions just weren't up to par.
Yeah, you've got a fight coming up. You might not want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it would be one thing if I turned my ACL and tell my coach what I did. I mean, yeah, I was kicking field goals, coach. Sorry about that. We'll get him next time.
Well, yesterday, I'll tell you what, where Austin impressed us, we went over to they have the Bridgestone Performance place for golf, and you could putt, and he made the putt. And that's why you get lucky making a putt. That's not a big deal. But he also hit the driver, or it was an iron, but they were testing for which ball would fit your swing. And I'm not going to lie, I had zero expectation for Austin Lane.
I don't golf.
With a golf club.
Yeah.
It was pretty good, man.
Be honest, Brent. Be honest.
Guy's an athlete.
Be honest, pretty good, right?
I mean, can't beat me in darts, but he's an athlete.
I am an athlete. Yeah, I kind of have that gift where I can see someone doing something, and I can kind of, copy that to the best of my abilities. I think the guy working the Bridgestone Golf Center there said it was one of the best shots he's seen all day. And what made it even more sweeter was the fact that Stuart Weber also tried the Bridgestone Golf Challenge thing. And needless to say, as a guy who golfs a lot, kind of disappointing to see.
At this point, just like the darts.
I think the nerves got to him a little bit.
Yeah, I think they did. So we're having some fun here at Radio Row and the NFL Experience. It's Super Bowl 53, and we've got a lot of conversations on the way. Of course, talking about the game, but talking to some of the celebs and the stars in the sports world. And that will continue right after this on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, live from Radio Row, Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta, Georgia.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Is there a puddle in your living room when it rains? That's a roof problem. Do you have stains on your ceiling? Also a roof problem. If you've got roof problems, you need to visit jnmroofing.com. J&M Roofing is Master Elite certified and Shingle Master certified. They offer the best warranty in the business and have many 5-star Google reviews. Ask about our multiple finance options. Visit jnmroofing.com. JANDM roofing.com. We're the ones with the umbrella. We got you covered. jnmroofing.com.
There's nothing like sitting down for a personal conversation with Eddie and Chuck from Farah and Farah, and you can do that every Saturday at noon on News 104.5 WOKV. Join Eddie and Chuck every Saturday on the Consumer Law Hour, where they break down everything from personal injury to civil rights. Join them and be part of the conversation on the Consumer Law Hour, brought to you by Farah and Farah, every Saturday at noon on News 104.5 WOKV.
Everybody loves new. How about a new car from Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville? Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on the new ESPN 690. And the new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is now open for business. This new state-of-the-art Hyundai dealership was built from the ground up with you in mind. So do what my family did and buy a Hyundai. They offer a lifetime warranty that is good anywhere in the United States. Oh, but there's more. Along with the low prices, exceptional service, and a lifetime warranty. You know what else we really love about Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville? Their no-risk, no-pressure approach. Imagine leaving the dealership with a new Hyundai Sonata. Fantastic car. But you leave and you wish you had left with a new SUV like the Hyundai Santa Fe instead. If you decide for any reason you're not 100% satisfied, you may return your vehicle in the first 7 days for your money back. The Hyundai you want, the service you deserve, all with Jenkins' exclusive lifetime warranty. Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville.
Hey, boss, check this out. 'Twas the week after Christmas, a scene to behold. At the do-it-yourself alarm company, what was about to unfold? So many alarms being returned in frustration by unhappy customers all across the nation. The power dome was ugly, the cords are on the floor, and no local monitoring was a problem for sure. But smart folks are out there and they shop around for the best security company that can be found. The name is Safe Touch. Security is their game. Safe Touch is the best. The others are just lame.
What are you on Safe Touch's payroll now?
What, you don't like it?
Just so I know you haven't completely lost it, tell me the Crooks Are Us motto again.
Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah, and don't you forget it.
Sorry, boss.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Parents, there's a better option for your child's development and education. Seacoast Christian Academy is a private school here in Jacksonville that offers challenging and engaging educational opportunities. Focused on a college preparatory curriculum that is backed by strong Christian values, they take on children as young as a year old through 12th grade. Right now, Seacoast Christian Academy is enrolling students who have the Step Up Scholarship. Step Up is an income-based scholarship program that most don't realize they qualify for. And Seacoast Christian Academy is accepting applications right now. For more information, call them or click seacoastchristianacademy.com. News 104.5 WOKV is now exclusively on 104.5 FM. News 104.5 WOKV is where you'll find the latest breaking news, First Alert Storm Center coverage, and traffic alerts. 690 is where you'll find the home of the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN690, featuring Golick and Wingo in the morning, Dan Levitard, and Stephen A. Smith. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690. Now, back to Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I see an explosive team with a lot of explosive players at every position. They can do a lot, man, and their running backs are versatile. I mean, the receivers can do a bunch, so they're going to have their place, so we just have to limit them, contain, bring it down to a minimum, but they're going to have them. I can't sit here and tell you they're not going to have a couple, big plays because, they're good.
Patrick Chung talking about the LA Rams and that game coming closer and closer to kickoff. 6:30 on Sunday night, CBS 47, the place to be, in front of your TV, in your living room, on your couch. Have a little Super Bowl party and flip on CBS 47 really all weekend long because there'll be tons and tons of Super Bowl coverage, both from us and from, of course, the national guys as we get closer and closer to kickoff. Rams, Patriots, Super Bowl 53. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, back on Radio Row, Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta. And we are going to break down this game. We already have broken down this game. I want to get your thoughts on how, again, you've said it a couple of times, but now after digesting it, listening to these guys talking to them Monday night at opening night, how do you think Bill Belichick is going to craft this game plan against a sometimes elaborate Rams offense?
I've talked about it all week. There's two possibilities. Well, there's actually three possibilities. The first one would be, playing that 4-3 base defense. The problem with that is the fact that it leaves them susceptible, to passes. And obviously, the Rams can pass the ball. Don't get it twisted. They have Todd Gurley, C.J. Anderson, but they also have some very capable receivers, especially with speed. The other option would be doing the nickel. And in that case, obviously, when you do the nickel, you're giving up a little bit in the run game, and with having Todd Gurley, C.J. Anderson in the run game, the last thing you want to do is get the ball ran down your throat, and that can change the whole momentum of the game. So what I think I see happening here is the fact that they're going to do like a base 4-3 hybrid, where they might switch out a linebacker or a safety here or two. But I think the most important part with that defense is try to keep the Rams guessing. Another thing, too, to keep in mind also is that the Rams, the reason why they're so different is the fact that they run trips a lot. So that means that they have three wide receivers, as opposed to some teams who use tight ends to block, for the running game. The Rams rely a lot more on the receivers in bunch formation. So basically, they're a lot closer to the quarterback or to the offensive line than a usual receiver set will be. So another thing that the Patriots can do as well is jam those receivers, especially in the passing game, because if you jam the receiver, that's going to throw off the timing completely. And being the Los Angeles Rams, where timing and is everything. You know, it's like a well-oiled machine. If you throw off that timing and you have a young quarterback in Jared Goff, it could cause some problems.
Well, just like, again, and I love that point because I think we're talking a lot about the press coverage from the Patriots potentially against those bunch formations against the Rams. And what we leave out in this, where does Todd Gurley fit into the game plan? Because we don't know about his health. Everybody says he's going to be healthy. But Sean McVay said for a month now he's going to be healthy, and he really hasn't been utilized as much as most people thought he would. But again, the press coverage is really fascinating on both sides. Mm-hmm. It does feel like both teams have to take their chance, even if they don't love the matchups. And you hate to give up big plays in big games. You hate it. And that's why fans and analysts want to see press coverage, but coaches are like, yeah, but you're forgetting about the big play.
Exactly.
And we don't want to give up the big play. We don't want to go 2 minutes into this game and give up a 64-yard touchdown pass because someone slipped or missed on the press.
And especially with guys like Brandon Cooks, you know, I mean, who's got speed for days. I mean, that's the last guy that, you know, you're going to try to press on, miss, and then get burnt deep. So I think, you know, pressing's obviously a lot more of a risk for the Patriots than it is for the Rams. I don't think the Patriots really have that burner guy that can beat you outside. So it's interesting to see what the Patriots are going to do for sure.
All right, I think Deontay Wilder, by the way, is making his way.
Oh, man. He
has
quite the entourage coming here. Very polarizing figure.
Why is he so polarizing?
I mean, a few things. Obviously, the way he fights.
Unorthodox, right?
Well, coming from a guy who before him was like Klitschko, where it was just jab and grab, jab and grab, jab and grab, and enters this uber athlete, this athletic freak that can knock you out with any shot. So it's a combination of that. It's a combination of his personality. He's big in the fashion community as well. Honestly, the dude is the complete package, and there's kind of a controversy between, you know, who's the real heavyweight, either him or Anthony Joshua. I'm taking Wilder all day because Wilder's not going to back down from the scary fights like Joshua is. And when he gets over here, we're going to talk about that as well.
Yeah, and I think he's probably wearing about $500,000 worth of jewelry.
Yeah, that looks pretty pricey. Absolutely.
I might ask him about that. Boxing money's big money
Hey,
now.
do what you got to do, man. All right, man, he's coming right now.
He's coming to sit down right now here on ESPN 690. I'm going to welcome in Deontay Wilder with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane. Thanks, man. Appreciate you joining us. Hop into this microphone right here. I know I don't have to tell you what to do. You know how to handle that thing. Hey, okay, what's harder, Radio Row on a Thursday or prepping for your next heavyweight fight?
Man, Radio Row, man. It's always exhausting, and I'm always having the water bottle to my mouth, so, you know. But, you know, it's always exciting to be here. You know, you see old faces, you get to come back and come back and hold a conversation with the old people you saw, and you meet new faces as well, too, and you build new relationships. And this is a great thing about it. When I was coming into the facility today, because I'm an energy person, you know, I go out for the energy when I meet people, when I go places, making decisions, you know, and everything. So when I walked up and I said, man, the energy up in this place is amazing, and, you know, I'm still feeling good, and I'm meeting a lot of people, man. I'm meeting a lot of positive energy people, and it's making my day go by great.
That's awesome. You bring a lot of energy, and you can tell, and obviously in the ring and outside the ring. But I want to ask you real quick. Evander Holyfield was just over here. What's that like? What's the relationships like between the greats, the guys that have won it, that have held the belt, that have done it before? And what's the reverence for a guy like Evander Holyfield from your perspective?
Yeah, man, Evander Holyfield is an amazing guy. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys that will support you. And when he supports you and he say things about you, he don't change up. He keeps it how it is. Evander Holyfield, you know, I met him way back in 2007 or 8. We had a duel against the Dominican Republic. And he was telling reporters, he said, I don't know what, because I ended up knocking the guy out or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Still to this day. You know, but he said he told the people, he said, I don't know what this young man is gonna do in the Olympics, but he's definitely the next heavyweight champion of the world.
Wow.
And he's been saying he's been with me ever since. And then he's an Alabama boy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As long as with me. So, you know, with that being said, he's a great guy, man, and he's great for the sport of boxing and as a mentor as well too, outside of the ring.
So Brent was trying to do a little research on you, and he's like, so is he the WBC champion? I'm like, Brent, pump the brakes a little bit, man. He's the heavyweight champion of the world, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You always hear the term, and I hate to hear it because, I do MMA as well, so I hear the term with you, brawler. And I can't stand that term because if you look at your history, man, you fought Ortiz. I don't know if he's 40 years old, 50 years old. It doesn't matter. Dude's a gamer, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. And you fought him, and let's be honest, you kind of got clipped a little bit. You took it, and you ended up knocking him out.
Yeah.
Well, then we go to Tyson Fury, man, a guy that nobody wanted to box. He has the crazy head movement. He's unorthodox, right? And you go championship rounds with him, knock him down in the final round.
Right.
So what are your thoughts of the term brawler? I consider you a fighter, man, because you showed heart in that last fight.
I'm definitely a fighter, when people use the term with the immature term of brawling, that just lets you know that they don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
And then, because if they knew better, they'll do better.
Yeah.
And then, with that being said, you got to take it as a grain of salt. When I do that, people say so many crazy things or whatever. My thing is what really gets under my skin when they call guys bombs. You know what I mean? I'm saying, well, you get in there and fight that bomb then if he's a bomb. This man risking his life for your entertainment.
Yeah.
You have the audacity to call him a bomb when you wouldn't even get dressed out and walk into the ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, a lot of things, people say things but they don't understand or they don't have the courage to get in there and do what we do. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of pride. It takes a lot of respect. It takes a lot of sacrifice to get in there each and every time, So, but, it don't really bothers me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just happy to be able to perform and do it on the elite level and be able to take care of my children, man.
Talk about this resurgence of the heavyweight division. I truly believe that you kind of spearheaded the whole thing because, back in the day, it was the Klitschko brothers, man. Jab and grab, boring style of fights. All of a sudden, we got this uber athlete coming through, man, knocking everybody out. What was just, the transition from going, fighting the Olympics and whatnot and just making yourself a professional boxer and now being the champ?
Right. When I came in, how I came in was because of my oldest daughter. She was born with spina bifida. Because I was, coming from Alabama, we grew up on football, basketball and stuff. So that was my goals and dreams as well, too. But, sometimes when you have a plan for you, God have other plans for you. And when my daughter was born with spina bifida, I had to get rid of all the sports. I dropped out of college, for her because we needed the money. And I picked up the gloves, not knowing where it would take me. But like I tell people all the time, I speak it, believe it, receive it. I spoke what I wanted to do. I believed that I was going to get there. And I allowed my results to be the receiving part of it,
Yeah.
Everyone has greatness. Everyone has greatness in them. Everyone in this room has greatness in them because greatness is only determined by service. Yeah. So what you put into your life, what you put into your time, your occupation, you can be great at whatever you do. And that, that's where I am now. Yeah, I believed in myself way back when everybody like, oh, he's from Alabama. Because you're not used to hearing people from Alabama and being in boxing because we didn't have a commission at the time. Vander Holyfield from Alabama, Joe Louis from Alabama, Ernie Shavers from Alabama, you know what I mean? But, those guys started their career elsewhere because they had to, and it's just amazing feeling to be able to be where I'm from with little to none resource and to be on a major platform right now affecting lives and bringing excitement to the heavyweight division.
So your last fight with Fury, obviously, was the draw. Some people say you won, some people say you didn't. In my opinion, if you knock somebody down twice, they're not going to win the fight. You know what I'm saying? So it was a draw. What's going to happen next? We're going to get Fury Wilder 2, and where's it going to be and when?
Fury Wilder 2, or should I say Wilder Fury 2?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
That never matters to me.
You
know what I mean? Some people, it do. But it definitely going to happen. That's 100% guaranteed it's going to happen. Only reason it wouldn't happen if they somehow buzzed out of the agreement or something like that. But it definitely happening. We're looking like in somewhere in May.
Okay.
Of it happening, and location would be in the United States, either going to be the Barclays Center. They're pushing very hard for the Barclays Center, where the Barclays Center is pushing hard to have it, to host the fight, or it's going to be in Vegas, one of the two. But it's going to be an amazing fight. It was an amazing fight the first time, man. I'm optimistic about anything that I'm involved in. I understand that we live in a world where, it's so many different opinions, and you can't please everybody. You can't. It's too many people. So with that being said, I take upon all opinions of wherever they feel about the fight, and and controversy sells.
Absolutely,
you know?
man. People love it.
There you go.
So going back from that last fight, what was the biggest thing that you took away from the last Fury fight? And do you think you kind of have the mental advantage? Because, like I said, you ended up knocking him down twice. How he got it the second time, I have no idea. That's got to be in the back of his mind a little bit.
Most definitely. What I took away from the fight is basically what I already known, but I was just, you know, I don't know what the term I use for. Man, I was just being. Basically, I had the world. I had. You know, LA hasn't had a big fight in years there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And this country boy coming along, making it happen, bringing the excitement back to American boxing. You know, I had all the attention right there. You know, it already was hard, you know, building, you know, in America, because boxing is not the #1 sport. I'm always competing against other people. I never had a dancing partner that really can promote it. I'm always promoting by myself. So I got the promotion. I got the dancing partner. It was great. So it captivated so many people. So many people was drawn into it, and I like finally getting the American attention that I deserve.
Yeah.
And it was overwhelming. But you know, I went away with the game plan totally.
Yeah. Okay.
I started doing what I know what I could do.
Yeah.
Just knock out. When I pressure myself to knock people out, it never happens in the times. But when I slow down and take my time, that's when the magic happens. So that's the biggest thing I've learned. Just take your time. Just slow down. I know I know it was a big moment for you. You know, bringing the people, bringing the attention back to America. But just take my time, and I'm gonna be victorious. I don't see this fight going past 7 rounds.
Listen, we have to wrap here pretty soon. A few more questions for you. Anthony Joshua, obviously he has the belt as well. Like I said, I think you're the real heavyweight champion. What are your thoughts of Joshua? Is he kind of scared? Is it more of a management problem where they're just kind of trying to protect him? Because let's be honest, man, you're a fighting champion and you're fighting the real deals here. He's just kind of, I don't want to say he's fighting lower level competition, but he's not fighting the talent that you are.
His name have definitely sucking down in the conversation as far as boxing is concerned, because people have caught on that he don't want the hard fights. He's trying to make money. They say it's a business. That's what his people say. We're dealing with a business, you know. So when you're dealing with that, it's going to be hard for them to really just pay the top elite athletes or competition to get in there and fight. They said that they wouldn't want to fight me unless it was 2020 or whatever. So they weren't in no rush. You know, if they really wanted to fight me, they would have allowed me to accept that. Well, I accepted $15 million, and they moved the goalpost. They lied, they contradict. He out of his own mouth said he would take $50 million and come to America and make it happen. And we offered him $50 million, and he was like, nah, psych. You know, my fans deserve it to be over here and stuff like that. The dude don't want to fight. I don't know what's going. He definitely is not in control of his career. He got other people's in control of his career, and that's it. So we may see that fight. You know, we may not. We'll see.
One more question for you. We're at the Super Bowl. I know you're a fan of football. Is there any doubt in your mind that if you played football, you'd be in the NFL right now? And would you be playing tight end or defensive end? Because I mean, you're obviously kind of lean, but I feel like you have a defensive end mentality.
Right, most definitely. You know, I don't. The first question was like, would I be playing?
Yeah. Would you be in the NFL?
You know, I look, man. I don't know, man. I always ask myself, like I tell my daughter that was born Spider Bilson, the reason I got into boxing, I say, babe, if it wasn't for you, I don't know what daddy would be doing.
Yeah.
I want to say but I'm not sure. You know what I mean? And what was the second?
So second question, would you be like a wide receiver / tight end, or are you playing defense? Because I feel like you kind of have the mentality as a defensive end linebacker.
I'd definitely be like wide receiver, defensive end. They had to put more weight on me, but I'm sure they won't have no problem with the programs.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? I used to be a quarterback as well too. I'd be so tall, can scan the field and see. So it's been either be the wide receiver, DN, or try for quarterback.
He can do it all, and he's the world champ. We got to let you go, but we are on TV. We're on all this other stuff. I mean, how much money do you have on right now? What's that watch? I mean, your sunglasses are like they got diamonds on your sunglasses.
I got like 100.
He's counting it up.
I got about 177, 14.
Hey, there's a lot of money in boxing,
especially
when you're the champ.
Yeah. I got like 100,000, 140.
About 140,000,
man. That's why you're champion.
Deontay Wilder, thanks for joining us, man.
Champ, appreciate it, man.
Good luck.
Thanks a lot, man.
We'll be back on ESPN 690. Thanks for the champ for stopping by. Action Sports Jacks on a Radio Road. Super Bowl 53 rolls on right after this.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Aaron. The Jaguars and Exalta have partnered to add a fresh coat of paint to TIAA Bank Field in the form of larger-than-life murals around the stadium's main concourse. The first mural made its debut this past December, but over the course of the next 4 years, 3 more Jacksonville-themed murals will be created in other corners of the stadium. And folks watching the Masters this year may notice some significant changes to the course. Already considered one of the tougher holes in Augusta, the par 4 fifth has been lengthened from 455 yards to 495 yards. Tiger Woods is hoping to win his 5th Masters later this year. He says his performance recently at Torrey Pines made him pretty optimistic.
I drove the ball better, hit my irons a little bit cleaner, and again, I hit good putts. Some didn't go in, some did. Just continue with the track. I have a couple more months of prep before April, so things are heading in the right direction.
When Woods won his first of 4 Masters in '97, Augusta measured 6,925 yards. Since then, the course has grown by more than 500 yards. You can listen to us live on your computer 24/7 at ESPN690.com.
Rev up your engine and save on a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Arlington Toyota is kicking off 2019 with big savings on their huge selection of over 1,000 new and pre-owned on the lot every day. Like a 2019 Camry LE starting at just $19,988. That's a pre-owned 2019 Camry LE for just $19,988. Ready to join the club? We're talking about the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club. It comes with your new or pre-owned purchase, packed with discounts and service on parts, trade-in cash, and more. Arlington's also giving you buying confidence with iPreCheck. It's powered by TransUnion. With iPreCheck, you can check your credit without affecting your score and get instant payment results custom to you. No Social Security number required. Shop Arlington Toyota in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. And the Toyota is back at Arlington. Follow Arlington Toyota on Facebook and Twitter for contest details, and you could win a $100 gift card plus $500 off your next Arlington Toyota purchase.
Hey, it's Bill with Bill Fenwick Plumbing. Do you have to wait a long time for hot water to reach your bathroom in the morning? Some of our customers have told me they turn their water on in their bathroom, go make the bed, brush their teeth, and finally the hot water reaches the end of the house. Not only does it waste water, but it also adds additional water and sewer charges on your utility bill. We can now install a pump that monitors your hot water usage daily and moves water down to that side of the house when you need it, without the wait. To schedule or find out more, call us or go to BillFenwickPlumbing.com.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Come meet Shaquem Griffin and hear his inspirational story during a community event presented by Brooks Rehabilitation. Saturday, February 9th on the Flex Field at Daly's Place. Shaquem Griffin of the Seattle Seahawks will be in Jacksonville. The former UCF football star made history last year when he became the first one-handed player to be drafted to the NFL. Doors open at 10 a.m. on February 9th. This community event features exhibits and demonstrations, followed by a conversation with Shaquem Griffin. Register now at brookscelebrate.org.
Hi, this is Dale Murray from Murray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Superstore in Stark, where the customer's always number one. Now that's going the distance. Shazam! Don't fumble your next purchase with those big city dealers and pay those big city prices. With our unbeatable customer service, selection, and 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty on every qualified vehicle means there's no need to shop anywhere else. It's simple. If Murray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram doesn't have it, the manufacturer doesn't build it. And we'll trade anything from old Nike gear to a case of beer. Be American, buy Murray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Check out our new inventory during the Start Something New event and compare our prices online at ShazamAuto.com. You'll see why everybody finds the end zone at Murray Superstores. Now that's a touchdown. Highway 301, half-mile north of Walmart. I'll be waiting for you. And remember, at any Murray Superstore, it's all about you. Shazam!
Hi, my name is Connor. I live at the Rudolph Boys Ranch with about 50 other boys. We come to the ranch because we can't live at home or we just don't have one.
Rudolph Boys Ranch doesn't receive any government support for childcare and raises funds by auctioning off donated vehicles every month. If you have a boat, car, motorcycle, RV, truck, or tractor in any condition, Google Boys Ranch Palatka to donate. If you don't have a vehicle, cash donations are accepted. Google Boys Ranch Palatka.
Remember, it's better to build boys than to mend men.
From the NBA to the NFL, we've got you covered. The worldwide leader in sports. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690.
You watch Action Sports Jax on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Now Action Sports Jax is on your radio.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Here's your host, Brent Martineau.
Such a long game. You're going to have to play great, basically 4 hours of football. You'd love to start fast, provide some margin of error, but we were down a bunch a couple years ago to the Falcons, and it worked out pretty good. Whatever it takes, man, you got to have mental toughness to just fight.
That's Tom Brady talking about being a Super Bowl champ and what it takes to win the game on Sunday. 6:30 kickoff on CBS 47, of course. We're going to talk a little bit later about these 30 for 30s and Deion Sanders double play that's debuting tonight, and also to the director of the man that put together the two bills. If you haven't seen that, Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick. And part of our conversation is about the mental toughness of guys like Belichick, but also Tom Brady. And you'll hear that conversation later. And Brady is on a different level. It's kind of become like a little punchline, laughing thing. What do you mean he's never had coffee? What do you mean he doesn't put sugar in his body? All those things. But it's amazing the lengths you have to go to be great. Very few people have the amount of talent to just let it ride like that. And Deion Sanders, by the way, might be one of them. And I'm not saying he didn't work hard. Yeah. I'm just saying you have to go to, if you are not a supremely talented and gifted individual, and there are very few of those in that sense from an athletic standpoint, that you better do something that is so different than everybody else. And Tom Brady, who is not a freaky athlete, of course, he does whatever he needs to do from a mental edge standpoint, maybe better than anybody else. And I don't know how you grade that and how you, like, I've always thought Tiger Woods in that category was unbelievable. The mental toughness of Tiger Woods on a golf course was unbelievable. So I think Brady is in that company and maybe even beyond that kind of company.
And we're talking Brady and, prime time. They fall in the same category of their work ethic as well. Especially Brady. I mean, it's been documented. It's in books of just how much he takes care of his body, how much he studies the game. And it's almost like he's never satisfied with his craft. He's always trying to get better. And sometimes the problem with primetime is the fact, like we talked about, he has that aura about him where there was Deion Sanders and there was primetime. And the fact that sometimes when, the fact that sometimes when you have that aura about you and, you're kind of cocky and you're very brash, sometimes people forget about that work ethic, but make no mistake about it. Deion Sanders also had that work ethic, had that mindset. You have to have that or else you're not going to be able to play at two sports.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people say they work hard. They don't understand what that kind of work ethic is.
There's a difference.
There's a different kind of discipline to it. All right, we're going to go back to the studios in Jacksonville because Kuz is about to lose it about the latest news coming out of the NBA. Just happened moments ago. Give us some breaking news, Kuz.
Dude, I'm losing my mind in here.
You are. We're having a great conversation about Brady, and you can't wait to get this news in.
I'm like, guys, stop. Hold on. Yeah, apparently, according to Woj, Dallas is finalizing a deal to land Kristaps Porzingis from the Knicks right now.
How about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, this morning, it came out that Porzingis was asking, what the future of the Knicks had in mind for him and if they were going to get him another star and all that stuff. And, man, it just, I guess it didn't work, and now he wants out or something. But, Woj is pretty reliable when it comes to talking about this stuff. So apparently, he might be on his way to Dallas.
Kuz, I saw an interview with Enes Kanter, the center from the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
And he came out and said, this is probably a few days ago, interview, I think, with Sports Illustrated, how he was saying that the Knicks are going to bring somebody huge in that no one's going to expect. Is this another step towards that, like his interview, and are you kind of buying that hype now all of a sudden?
There's a lot of talk that, KD might be interested, maybe Irving's interested, maybe they can get Kawhi Leonard, maybe even Anthony Davis, who has talked about how he's interested. So maybe this is a move to just reset everything and go all in on some stars, but man, it's risky. If you don't land these guys now, you look not smart,
Yeah, some big news out of the NBA. Porzingis, so it looks like he's on his way to Dallas, and Woj, he knows everything, right? I mean, it's probably, he's ahead of that. He's the Schefter of the NBA. So it looks like some big news in the NBA and for the New York Knicks, who I think currently have the worst record in the NBA, right, Kuz?
It might be the Cavs or the Suns actually have.
Oh,
the
they
worst.
slipped down. Okay,
yeah, the Suns definitely have the
but
worst.
But they're in there. They're in that conversation.
Yeah, they're down there.
Yeah. Okay. So news out of the NBA. By the way, we just had the tease of all teases. Herschel Walker, on his way by, actually started to sit down in his seat right next to us.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got pulled away because he was in the wrong spot. So they have an interview set up right next to us. We're hoping to get Herschel Walker on here on ESPN 690. We'll see what happens. I know he's got a tight schedule, but we're talking to his folks about trying to land him. And, again, Austin Lane will have fun with that one. An NFL guy and an MMA guy, the path that Austin is on right now. We're going to take a timeout right now here on ESPN 690. When we come back, more interviews from Radio Row. I know we have some already. In fact, you'll hear from Kyle Rudolph about John DeFilippo, the new Jags offensive coordinator. And also you'll hear from Nate Burleson about everything going on in the NFL when Marcel Robinson joins us. That's coming up. A lot to get to here on a Thursday from Radio Row, Super Bowl 53. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Built with the biggest names in sports, all on one radio station. Golick and Wingo, Dan Lebitard, Stephen A. Smith, and Action Sports Jack's Brent Martineau every afternoon. Plus, Sports Center updates at the top and bottom of every hour. And major breaking news in sports when it happens. Make us your only button for sports. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. The all-new ESPN 690.
Taking a drive to date night, or taking a drive for the kids to get to school, or how about taking the kids to practice? Do all of that in a new Hyundai from the new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on the new ESPN 690, and our family loves our Hyundai Santa Fe. The new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is now open for business. This new state-of-the-art Hyundai dealership was built from the ground up with you in mind. No matter what you do, day to day, take a drive with Hyundai. They offer a lifetime warranty that is good anywhere in the United States. And along with the low prices, exceptional service, and lifetime warranty, you know what else they have? A no-risk, no-pressure approach. If you are not 100% satisfied, you may return your vehicle in the first 7 days for your money back. The Hyundai you want, the service you deserve, all with Jenkins' exclusive lifetime warranty, no matter where you drive to. Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville.
Introducing Salt Life Lager, the perfect beer for those who live the salt life. Salt Life Lager is also the perfect beer for those who live the outdoor life, the beach life, the fishing life, the festival life, the boat life, the yacht life, the tailgate life, the stay home and relax life. Even the sit around and talk about life. In fact, Salt Life Lager is the perfect beer for just about any life, starting with yours. Salt Life Lager, a salty state of mind. Available now at ABC Liquors, Publix, and Winn-Dixie locations. Visit saltlifebeer.com for more information. Must be at least 21 to drink. Please drink responsibly.
Hi folks, Dave Binion here with Zero Res. My family made the big mistake of leaving the dog home alone for too long. And when we came home, we found an unwanted wet spot in the master bedroom. Zero Res to the rescue again. Pet urine requires a special treatment to clean and disinfect the carpet. At Zero Res, we have what it takes. Right now, I have 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129, and we will clean a 4th room for free. That's right, the 4th room's on me. Check us out at ZeroResJacksonville.com. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
At World Imports, we're car people. We love cars. If you're in the market for a luxury pre-owned automobile, we can help. We don't just sell you a car. We help you select your car, the car you've been dreaming about. No gimmicks here, no free TVs, and we won't put your car in a new age vending machine. Audi, BMW, Infiniti, Mercedes, or any other high-end pre-owned automobile, view our inventory at worldimportsusa.com. We'll find the car that makes the most sense for your style and budget. Visit us today at worldimportsusa.com.
I'm Holt Harrell.
PIP stands for Personal Injury Protection Benefits. You hear it sometimes called no-fault benefits. When you've been involved in an accident, you have 14 days to seek medical treatment. And you have up to $10,000 of medical coverage on your insurance policy. That's the PIP benefits. If you don't get medical treatment within the 14 days after the accident, you lose all those benefits that you have. Call us or visit our website, Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
From Daytona Beach to Brunswick, now ESPN can be heard loud and clear everywhere on one of the most powerful AM radio stations in Florida. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690.
This is Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Yeah, I mean, they got great receivers, great tight ends. They got a great running game. So, you really can't key on one guy. You got to kind of play all of them the same way. Obviously, different guys got different speeds, so you got to kind of adjust that way. It's different than 2 weeks ago, and you just got to play them the best you can.
That's Stephon Gilmore, New England Patriots corner, and he's really played well in big games. I mean, this playoffs, obviously, he gave up the one big play, what was that, a couple of weeks back to Keenan Allen, and he had the huge play against the Jags in the AFC Championship game last year. This guy's got paid a lot of money. You weren't sure about where his career was heading, and all of a sudden his career is headed in a good way because he is delivered in the big time for the New England Patriots and trying to get a Super Bowl ring with the Patriots this year against the Rams. Welcome back to Radio Row. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane. Did you just break a chair?
No, dude, I'm cramping.
You were cramping up?
Cramped? I got a cramp.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think that was the effect of running sprints this morning and then getting my field goal kicking on.
Yeah, you did some work. You work out at least.
Mm-hmm.
None of us do, but it's hard to drink enough water.
It is, yeah. And
your schedule's so off.
Well, it's hard to get really anything, even like food. Obviously we're working some pretty long hours and whatnot. And as far as like the hospitality, it's been pretty well here. But yeah, I guess I need some kind of like IV or something because I'm cramping like a mother right now.
Well, take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure the vocal cords don't cramp up. And we'll see what happens there. Rams-Patriots coming up Sunday night. If you're watching this on social media, which we have the stream going on Twitter and Twitch and Facebook and YouTube, you can see the great Herschel Walker right behind us,
Hopefully
through
we'll
the
get
camera.
him on.
We're trying to get him. Everybody's stopping him, as you can see. Looks like he's talking to some folks. I don't want to say they're from the Blue Angels, but who are doing flyover maybe.
Now, is Herschel Walker like 30 years old, or how old is he again? 40s?
No, he's up.
No, I'm kidding. I'm just saying, like, dude, he looks ridiculous.
How old is he, though, now? He would be 20, 40. He's got to be close to 60, right? I would think.
I'd
I think
say
he's right
so,
about
yeah.
60 years old. So hopefully we'll get some Herschel Walker on. He's got some other things to do at the moment from here in Radio Row Super Bowl 53. Hey, all right, I'm going to put this out there right now, and I want to talk a little Jags for a moment. I said we were going to do this earlier in the week, and I want to make sure we do. What do you think about the Jags if they go all in on Haskins? Say they don't like Foles or Flacco, and they go all in on Dwayne Haskins. He's the best quarterback in the draft. Everybody thinks he's the best one of the rest. Say that's the unanimous decision. They jump up to the fourth pick to grab him, whatever. They may trade something away, whoever. However, they get it. They want all in on him. If they are all in on him, and unfortunately the way this works, it's probably going to be hard to make these decisions because of the ordering of everything. The NFL league year starts in March, and then you have the draft in April. If it was flip-flopped, you could maybe do this and see how the draft works out, but you don't have that luxury. What I'm getting at here is from a fiscal responsibility standpoint. If the fan base knew that Dwayne Haskins was the future of this franchise, would you be willing to, or would the Jags be willing to, keep Blake Bortles here in Jacksonville as the backup, as the bridge, because it's the fiscally correct thing to do, instead of paying all this money to, say, a Flacco, and the money you're paying to Bortles, and now the money you're paying to a first-round pick in the top 10? That's not the ideal way to do this. And so you hang on to Bortles, you bridge a couple of games, maybe not even, you bridge training camp, and you give it to Haskins.
I'm completely disagreeing with you here. So you're saying that if you bring in Haskins, obviously Haskins is going to be the starter and Blake Bortles is going to be the backup, correct? That's what we're getting at.
Well, in the vision is that because you're going to hand the reins to Haskins.
Well,
but if he struggles at first, you're going to have to go with Bortles the first couple of games until that
How do you
happens.
go with Bortles? Because it's not like Bortles really showed anything this past season. So if you bring in a first-round guy, you would think that he's going to overtake Bortles right away. I mean, being a first-round guy like Haskins is, you would think. I'm not saying that's for sure. But from what we've gathered so far and what we know about Bortles, we would assume that, correct?
Well, that's what would be your assumption, and that's what I'm saying. Would the fans ride with that because now you've got Blake as a backup? Blake as a backup, is that a bad option?
It's a horrible option, and here's why. Let's look at history here for a second. 2 quarterbacks last year were first-round draft picks and started their first NFL game, Sam Darnold and Josh Allen. Now, don't get me wrong. Darnold came out on fire, played the Detroit Lions. I think he threw 3 touchdowns. Looked really promising. Josh Allen kind of started off a little slower, obviously. Kind of rebounded towards the middle of the season, got hurt a little bit, and then finished strong. Here's my issue with that. With Josh Allen, he did it with his legs more than he did with his arm. And the same thing is true for Jackson on the Ravens. Sometimes when you're a rookie, and obviously you want to be this ideal pocket passer, but you're going to rely on what you feel comfortable with. And for those 2 guys, it was their legs. So now here's my point. You look at Patrick Mahomes, you look at Tom Brady, you look at Aaron Rodgers. Those guys all sat a little bit, and they had someone to learn from. My issue with Haskins is the fact that if you bring him in right away and you don't bring something like a free agent and you have Blake Bortles, he's got no one to learn from. And even if he does beat up Blake Bortles, I still don't think you're going to learn a lot from Blake Bortles. So ideally what I want is I want that free agent, a seasoned vet, who Haskins or whoever, maybe Murray, we don't know yet, that you can bring in and that young quarterback can learn from, because history has shown that's the way that you do it.
I get it. I think it's a fair take. But what I would say, if I'm John Idzik, and you just said that as Dave Caldwell or Tom Coughlin or Doug Marrone, and I'm the cap guy, and I'm looking at the dollars, I'm saying, guys, okay, but what you're telling me is Flacco and Foles, let's just name it at $20 million. It might be more than that. It could be $22, $24 million for one of those guys, although I don't think it's going to be that much because I don't think this will be a bidding war for those guys. But let's just put it at $20 million. So you have $20 million there. You've got $6 million, and this is just for 2019. You have $20 million there. You have $6 million. I think it would be around $5 or $6 million for your top 5 pick, which would be Haskins. So now you're up to $25 million for the quarterback position. That's fine. But on top of that, you owe Blake Bortles to walk away $6.5 million, and you could be on the hook from a dead cap money standpoint of $16 million. So you are actual cash invested in the quarterback position in 2019 for some $32 million. You are actually some $41 million potentially in cap money invested. That is a big investment at the quarterback position.
No, it absolutely is, but let's look at the investments overall on this team right now. We are in a win-now kind of atmosphere. We have a lot of contracts coming up. Jalen Ramsey, we still have to pay Yannick. We got to pay a lot of guys. So we have to win now, and especially in Dave Caldwell's position where he can't afford to have another bad year. This whole coaching staff can't afford to have another bad year. So the fact that you're talking about bringing in a first-year quarterback, a rookie, throwing him in the fire right away and hoping that it works out, that's a pretty big gamble, especially with contracts that we got to sign in the next couple years or so. We have to win now. And I think the best way to win now is bringing in that free agent quarterback and then having Haskins or whoever we draft learn from him.
Well, then that doubles back on the other one. I'm going to be Idzik again. Or now I might be Marrone and everybody else. Okay, guys, we're comfortable. We want to win now, so we're going with Foles or Flacco. We're comfortable with that. Let's not worry about 2020. Let's not worry about 2021-22. Who cares about Haskins then? Let's go get Flacco or Foles, a playmaker, because we could use a playmaker at tight end, wide receiver. You're not going to pick a tight end there, but you could for a wide receiver. So I just don't think if they go that route, Flacco's interesting. It is more interesting. If they go that route, I just don't see him invested in a quarterback in this class because it looks like the class is more bunched together than separated at this point.
I mean, and here's the problem with that, Brent. So eventually we agree we're going to need a quarterback eventually. And
you need a young quarterback eventually.
In the draft, yes. So say we get Foles or we get Flacco and they actually do well, that they're winning games. Well, that draft class with Trevor Lawrence coming out in a couple years, if we're doing well, we're not going to be able to get one of those guys.
It's true.
You know, so
that's why you can't predict it.
Yeah, you cannot predict it at all. The way I'm seeing it, if I'm the front office, if I'm the coaching staff, I have to win now. But there's no shame in also prepping for the future. And the best way to do that, like I've been saying, is bring in the free agent quarterback and then bring a high draft pick quarterback in.
Check out Twitter. Check out Facebook and Twitch and YouTube as well. You can check us out on the ESPN690.com stream and, of course, ESPN690AM. Want to get your thoughts on it, though. Would you be willing from a financial perspective? Does it make sense to keep Bortles around? Financially, I'm talking about. If you went all in on a guy you like Haskins. That's what we're up to debate about right now.
Got to spend money to make money, Brent.
Absolutely.
Spend money to make money.
ESPN 690 from the Super Bowl continues next.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Aaron, and all offseason, baseball fans have been waiting to see who lands Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. And while nobody has signed yet, we are seeing reports of Harper in Vegas today meeting with the San Diego Padres. It's been a really slow offseason for free agents. Red Sox President Dave Dombrowski says he's not sure why.
It's obvious that the market continues to last longer into spring training. And for me, I understand it because that's the way it is. I don't necessarily like it for the game, but I think right now that's the game that we're playing.
If you went to a Jaguar game in December, you may have noticed that amazing mural by sections 103 and 203. Now the Jags are saying they plan on adding 3 more to the stadium over the next 4 years. All of those murals will be Jacksonville related in theme. And finally, golf fans watching the Masters this year may notice some changes to the course. Specifically, the 5th hole has been lengthened from 455 yards to 495 yards. This brings the full length of the course near 7,500 yards in total. Not by a radio, no problem. Listen to us live at ESPN690.com by hitting the Listen Live button.
Hi, I'm the new Shell and Fuel Rewards card.
And I'm the new Shell and Fuel Rewards MasterCard.
With me, you save 10 cents per gallon up to 20 gallons every time you fill up.
Hey, that's the same with me.
And you also earn 10% rebates on your first $1,200 in non-fuel purchases per year at Shell stations?
Yeah, and I can be used anywhere MasterCard is accepted.
Oh, I like you already.
At Shell, it's all about saving. Visit www.shell.us/getrewards and apply today. At participating Shell stations only. Terms and conditions apply.
You travel a lot, don't you?
Well, in business, yes. In basketball, never.
Well, if you're traveling for work, La Quinta by Wyndham has what you need to win on the road.
I mean, you get a spacious work area right in your room, plus charging areas for at least 5 devices.
And do not forget their hearty bright side breakfast with waffles, eggs, and meat.
Oh, that's a triple threat.
It's like having home court advantage even when you're away.
Step up your road game and win at business with La Quinta.
Get the best rate guaranteed when you book at LQ.com.
Swish.
All offers are with approved credit and not a conjunction. See dealer for complete details. Start something new sales event.
If you need a new car, truck, or SUV and think you can't afford it, you can. At Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Arlington. Start the year right with a brand new Ram truck. We've got the best selection and guarantee you the best deal. Buy now and save up to $12,000 off MSRP. $12,000. Drive the very popular Jeep Cherokee starting from just $19,988 with hundreds of Jeeps in stock every day. We'll have the one you want. Save $4,000 on a new Compass or Wrangler Unlimited. Get a new Renegade starting at just $16,988. Save up to $9,000 on Chrysler 300. Our lenders want to make you a new car loan today. 100% credit approval is our goal all month long. Get the new car, truck, or SUV you really want. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Arlington. Fast and friendly service you can count on. 9600 Atlantic Boulevard, across from the Regency Square Mall.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports the Mavericks will get Kristaps Porzingis, Courtney Lee, and Tim Hardaway Jr. in a trade with the Knicks. New York gets Wesley Matthews, Dennis Smith Jr., and DeAndre Jordan. That deal could also include draft picks. The NBA trade deadline is next Thursday. Adrian Wojnarowski and Zach Lowe are reporting that if the Pelicans trade Anthony Davis to a team other than the Lakers, he will stay there only 1 year and then sign with the Lakers as a free agent in 2020. 2 weeks of talk about the blown call in the Saints-Rams NFC Championship game will finally end, maybe, with Super Bowl 53 on Sunday. Panthers tight end Greg Olsen doesn't want to see replays on missed penalty calls.
If I was voting, I would vote no. And I know the Saints are up in arms, and I would be too. If I was a Saints fan or a player on that team, I understand living in the moment and understanding you're a pass interference call for most likely going to the Super Bowl.
Greg Olsen on Golick and Wingo at the Super Bowl in Atlanta.
It's time for some Straight Talk. You can get the same 4G LTE coverage as the big wireless companies, but pay less with Straight Talk. Great excuse for a celebration dance. Get coverage on America's largest, most dependable networks. Straight Talk, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
You watch Action Sports Jax on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Now Action Sports Jax is on your radio.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios.
Here's your host, Brent Martineau.
Welcome back to Super Bowl 53, Atlanta, Georgia. Rams, Patriots coming up on Sunday, of course. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson here in the ATL. Justin Coos back in the studio and breaking down the big trade that just went down in the last half hour, as you can hear.
Wilder. What's going on there?
That's Deontay Wilder.
That's Deontay Wilder.
Okay.
Again, we had Deontay Wilder earlier do what we call on TV an ID.
Yeah.
Right? And we'll have it for radio as well. And we say it's like I'm Deontay Wilder, and this is
one
Action
take too.
Sports
By the
Jax.
way, it was only one take for him.
It was
impressive.
But see, these guys like Diamond Dallas Page was like this yesterday.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I mean, so good. It's a talent to do what they do. I mean, listen, a lot of people have trouble saying, I'm Brent Martineau and this is Action Sports Jax.
Yeah.
That's not easy. And these guys, when they do one of those, that's what he just did. And at the end, he yells at the end of it, and it's classic. You'll hear it like on the show in future days and weeks and months ahead. But the whole room just stops and everybody watches.
Take it from me as a guy who just needed 5 takes at the NFL Experience to try to close out the segment because I kept saying live from that, and it's actually not going to be a live shot when we turn it in. So I said for 4 times like live from the NFL Experience, and then obviously Marcel had to coach me up a little bit. So it is not an easy thing whatsoever. Props to the champ for doing it in one take. DDP had a good one, too, but it took him 2 takes.
It did.
And it was also comical.
And the outtake was amazing.
Very comical.
And I can't put it on TV or radio, but it was absolutely amazing.
Take our word for it.
It was really good. In fact, I'll share the one that went good for Diamond Dallas Page on Twitter because I kind of recorded it from the side. Yeah. And you can just see everybody watching them, too. It's fun stuff. All right, Kuz, jump in on this. Who won the trade?
All right, well, and so that's the thing. I mean, the Knicks are sending in Kristaps Porzingis, Courtney Lee, Tim Hardaway Jr., and they're getting back Wesley Matthews, Dennis Smith Jr., and DeAndre Jordan. So, I don't necessarily like it for the Knicks right off the bat because they have Frank Ntilikina. Like, they've got young point guards already that kind of conflicts with Dennis Smith Jr., so I don't necessarily know how I feel about it for the Knicks, but I feel like this is a move because they're trying to do another move.
So it's a setup. Which is they're revamping the whole thing, so that makes sense, I guess.
It has to be.
What do you see that next move being? Because obviously Enes Kanter has kind of teased that the Knicks are going to do something monumental, bring some star player in, and that, we should all stay tuned. And at the time, everyone thought that he was kind of joking around and just, being silly.
Yeah.
But now it's obvious that something big's about to happen, possibly.
Well, and I wouldn't rule out, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis wants to go to the Lakers, but it's not his choice right now. It's whatever the Pelicans can get that will make them better off for the future and get back the assets that they need when Anthony Davis leaves. So I know he's mentioned, Anthony Davis said he wouldn't mind being in New York, and in theory, if AD goes to New York, maybe in the offseason they can convince Kawhi to come over, or maybe a KD to come over to, have his own little, prove-it year himself.
All right. Interesting talk out of the NBA. We'll talk more about it and keep you updated on any other happenings. But big trade with the Knicks and the Mavs in just the last half hour or so. Back to football we go. A couple responses about what Austin and I were talking about before the break and keeping Blake Bortles. Jason Brown says, yeah, why not? Eric Harris says, not my first option, but really what else could they afford to do if they don't? And that's the whole point of this. It isn't like, hey, do you think, do you want? It's from a fiscal standpoint, it's really the smarter move to make, and would you be willing to make it because it might allow you to get another player or two on either side of the ball in free agency? Meta World Crazy says no. And
well,
Paul
God
Briscoe
says, on my side.
Paul Briscoe says no, best for all that he leaves.
There we go.
And Paul right there says best for all that he leaves, and that's probably right. Change of scenery, probably even for Blake, might not be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Change of scenery for the fan base and everybody else, and even the locker room potentially might not be a better thing.
Yeah.
But at the cost of potentially anywhere from $7 to $16 million, whether it's pure cash or dead cap money, I think you have to ask yourself the question, is it worth hanging around for a little bit more? Again, and my point in this, if you missed it, if you're just jumping in, is if they go all in on Haskins. It's like, that's the guy. If they go Greer, if they go Locke, if they go Daniel Jones, it doesn't feel like, okay, we're all in. We're hopeful, but we're not sure we're all in. Haskins, that means they would probably jump to the 4th or 5th pick, trade stuff, and say, we are all in for this guy, our future of the franchise.
Let me ask you this. Obviously there's kind of rumblings with the coaching staff being intrigued by Daniel Jones from Duke and everything. And I'm not saying from your standpoint, from your opinion, but from the Jags brass's opinion, would they go all in on Murray?
Yeah, and we're going to have a conversation about that again because of the Deion's double play with Ken Rogers, who directed that 30 for 30 that's debuting tonight. And we talk about Kyler Murray in that because here you go, right? What Deion did, play in 2 different sports, same day, same year for a Kyler Murray. Are you all in on that? And listen, I'm going to be the guy right now that will say it. And I'll say it in April. And I'll be like, yeah, that's awesome. We just got Kyler Murray to Jacksonville. This is going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that, but I would probably also predict this isn't going to work out very well. I think it would be fun as heck, but if you're trying to win Super Bowls, and if you're trying to win for a long time, and you're trying to get a guy that's going to be around for 8, 10, 12 years at that position, I'm just not sure. You're going to do a lot to convince me Kyler Murray's that guy.
And are you coming from the school of thought where you think it's the fact that he wants to play maybe baseball and football, or is it from the theory that he's too small? I mean, we're both. Okay.
Because both are risky. There's too much risk.
Agreed.
There's risk already in the prototypical quarterback.
No,
so there's more risk with the guy that's not the prototypical guy and might have a love for going to hit batting practice at right before the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp game. So you got to be a little careful with that, I believe. Hey, we caught up with Kyle Rudolph about the new offensive coordinator. Whatever they do at quarterback, there's a new offensive coordinator in Jacksonville, and his name is John DeFilippo. Well, Kyle Rudolph, fantastic tight end for the Minnesota Vikings, had a chance to catch up with him this morning and ask him a little bit about Coach Flip.
We got John DeFilippo now down in Jacksonville. You talked highly of him. Why so? What do you like about him?
Flip is a guy. He's a young coach, brings a lot of energy, and I think he'll do well for your guys' offense.
What does he bring to an offense in terms of what these guys can expect?
Well, I think the biggest thing is he's going to bring a ton of energy, a ton of enthusiasm, and a lot of swagger. That was the biggest thing that he tried to bring to our offense this year, and he was energetic in each and every meeting.
You see that he could adapt pretty quick. I mean, I know it didn't work out. There's obviously a disconnect there, but adapting to Kirk Cousins and you guys as an offense.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's what all great coaches do. So, I'm excited for Flip to have another opportunity. Obviously it didn't end well with us in Minnesota, and we had high expectations that weren't met, but that's just the nature of this business.
We saw you guys in Minnesota, Jags and Vikings practicing together. How surprised were you that you guys didn't make the postseason, and also the Jags didn't, looking at those two teams at the time?
No, absolutely. When Jacksonville came up and we practiced against each other in training camp, we felt like those were, obviously the year before you have an AFC championship game participant and an NFC championship game participant, and I think we both expected to be back this year. So unfortunately disappointing seasons for both of us, but I think it'll motivate both teams to get back at that point next year.
How vital is tight end in offense? Obviously it's good for you, but for every team.
Oh, absolutely. I'm always an advocate for the tight end, but I think you look across the NFL and look at all of the best offenses in football, they use their tight end. They create mismatches with him, and it's just such an advantage for an offense to be able to use him.
Kyle, give us your prediction, man. Give us some analysis of this one. How do you see it playing out Sunday?
It's going to be a great game. Obviously, historically, when New England has had struggles in the Super Bowl, it's come from an interior rush, and the Rams got a pretty good interior rush. They seem to always take away what you do best, and the Rams have an unbelievable run game, and we're number one in the NFL in play-action pass this year. So I'm looking forward to see Coach Belichick's plan to take away that vaunted Rams run game and their play-action pass, and looking forward to a good matchup.
Tough to pick against Brady, huh?
Always. That's kind of been my answer to every one of my prediction questions is, you've learned over the last 17 plus years, it's hard to bet against Tom Brady.
Hi, that was Kyle Rudolph this morning, catching up with him about John DeFilippo, the new Jags offensive coordinator. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but we'll stop everything right now because we've got one of the greatest of all time with us. Herschel Walker making time for us to stop by here on ESPN 690 in Jacksonville. First of all, Herschel, we appreciate you coming back because I know you had a lot of rounds to make. Thanks for taking some time with us.
Thank you.
How you doing anyway, man?
I'm doing well. I tell you what, I've been blessed. I tell everyone I've been totally blessed, and I tell you guys bring me back on. That's great. Thanks.
What are you up to now? We know you so much as a legend. We know you from the MMA that you transferred into. I know you're for the 1,000 push-ups a day because I'm trying to get my son to do the same thing. And what is happening in Herschel Walker's life? It feels like it's always so eventful.
Well, everything that you were just talking about, I'm still doing it. All the push-ups and sit-ups, 1,500 push-ups, 3,500 sit-ups.
I can tell.
Still working with the MMA, with Bellator, with Scott Coker. We got a fight coming up February the 15th and 16th in Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. Working with the military every 3 weeks. I'm at a base all over the world. Just left Germany about 2 weeks ago. And then I also own my own two companies, two of the largest minority-owned companies in the United States. So, and trying to be a dad. I have a son that's at SMU. He's a junior, and he's supposed to be a freshman, but he's a junior. Speaks 4 different languages. I tell you, incredible kid. So, that's what I tell people. I've been totally blessed.
So you mentioned you work with Bellator. Obviously, Scott Coker, you have that connection from Strikeforce. What was that, personally being, playing in the NFL for 5 years and going to MMA as well, what was that transition like from you going from the NFL and then going in that cage?
It was very interesting because when I was at Georgia, I used to fight in martial arts tournament. I played college football on Saturdays. I went to church Sunday morning. I fought in Taekwondo tournament Sunday afternoon. So I always thought, I'm a fighter. I can fight. And I remember when the MMA put the rules and regulation and the weight class in, I said, I'd love to do that. That looked like an exciting sport. And I remember Scott coming and watching me do a matchmaker bout out in L.A. And Scott said, Herschel, if you go to a good camp, I'll get you a fight. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, dude, I know how to fight. I don't need to go to a camp. But because he made me go out to AKA, I was out there for 10 months. I trained almost 6 days a week,
Best
almost
camp
9 hours
one of the top
a day.
camps,
One of the top camp with Kane and Daniel and Luke. I trained with those guys, and I can tell you what, Scott Coker saved my life.
Yeah.
That's the reason I'm with him now at Bellator. And I say because Scott's just not a fight promoter or running Bellator. Scott cares about the athlete. He know how to matchmake about. He know how to put guys together, and that's the reason I'm with him now, and that's the reason I'm helping him to promote different things.
Herschel Walker with us on ESPN 690. The Georgia fans in Jacksonville, listen, I got to ask them at Georgia. We'll bounce back and forth here. We only have you for a few minutes. It's been since 1980. How shocked are you since that Georgia has not been able to win the whole thing? Then, because it's an unbelievable program. We love that. Athens is amazing, and obviously Kirby Smart's doing a fantastic job. But doesn't that stun you? It's been almost 40 years.
Oh, it is stun, but they made it to the dance before. And I said, guys, they're going to get there. Right now, I think they're knocking on the door. And one thing I think it's doing is building confidence. I think Coach Smart is doing one heck of a job, and they're building confidence. And I think they're going to get over the hill. I think this is going to be their year coming up. I think those guys have been down the dance floor too many times not to overcome that hill. And I think they're going to do it this year.
I have to ask one more thing. So, going from a team sport like, playing in the NFL, obviously, and playing football, going to MMA where, don't get it twisted, it's still a team sport. You still have your training partners, you have your coaches, but when you go in that cage, it's just you. What did you prefer more? Did you prefer the team sport dynamic or more like the individual?
Well, I like the individual thing.
Yeah.
And the reason why is, when I fumble, I let the whole team down.
Yeah.
I did, and that was hard to take. But if I step in that cage and I drop my hands and get knocked out, that's on me.
Absolutely.
If I get choked out, that's on me. So, I said this is like a human chess match, and that's the reason I like this MMA is when I step in that cage, everything is on me then.
And I have to ask, training at AKA, you want to get some of the best heavyweights of all time, really. I mean, DC, obviously, Kane now. cardio can, as they call him.
Yes.
What was that like in that training room?
I absolutely loved it. I tell people this here. My cardio is incredible, but Kane cardio was better than mine.
Yeah.
Kane outweighed me about 25 pounds. His cardio was better than mine. And I tell you what, I told people that he's the best heavyweight I've ever seen.
Yeah.
There's no doubt DC is an incredible heavyweight, and DC is a great 205er, and DC is a great athlete.
Yep.
But Kane is one of the best heavyweights I've ever been around.
Well, and that's in the UFC, but we're talking Bellator, man, coming up.
Yes,
yeah,
Bellator
absolutely.
coming up in in February 15th to 16th, and the Mohegan Sun, where, like I said, the 50 Cent is putting up that $1 million. I don't think anyone is putting up $1 million for a fight. So I think people, if they're in New York or in the Connecticut area, come out to the Mohegan Sun and see this fight, or catch it on Paramount channel or either on the Zone. I think they'll really, really enjoy it.
That's a great venue. I think great athletes. I think Herschel Walker. I think Bo Jackson. I don't think Tom Brady. How wild are you of what he's done?
Tom Brady is absolutely incredible. You know what's so funny? I tell the people this all the time. The guy is always making it to the top of the pedestal. And not only is he making it, he's bringing a young team with him. That tells that he's a leader. Because being a leader is more than just being a great athlete. You got to be a leader, and that shows that he's a great leader as well.
Awesome to catch up with you.
Hey,
Thanks,
thank
Herschel
you,
Walker,
man.
for
Thank
stopping
y'all.
by.
God bless you.
Unbelievable.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck with those 1,500 push-ups today, by the way. Still getting it done. You hear that, Ty? Go do some more push-ups, little buddy. We'll be back on ESPN 690 from Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta, Georgia, Radio Row.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Hey, it's Bill with Bill Fenwick Plumbing. If you've ever had a leak under your concrete slab, then you know how much it can increase your water bill or even your electric or gas bill if it's on the hot side of your plumbing system. Slab leaks can be costly, but luckily they are no match for our Golden Plunger service. If you suspect that you have a broken water pipe under the slab, have our team of professionals come out, locate the leak, and help you get your plumbing back on track. If you'd like to schedule a service call or would like some tips to determine whether or not you have a leak, visit BillFenwickPlumbing.com.
Are you afraid of the IRS because you have unfiled or unpaid taxes? Most don't realize that having unfiled federal taxes is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail for each unfiled return. With the IRS, it's never a question of if they'll come, but when. Don't live in fear. Call J. David Tax Law now for a no-cost consultation at 904-606-0009. That's 904-606-0009. Or find us on the web at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Taking a drive to date night, or taking a drive for the kids to get to school, or how about taking the kids to practice? Do all of that in a new Hyundai from the new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on the new ESPN 690, and our family loves our Hyundai Santa Fe. The new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is now open for business. This new state-of-the-art Hyundai dealership was built from the ground up with you in mind. No matter what you do, day to day, take a drive with Hyundai. They offer a lifetime warranty that is good anywhere in the United States. And along with the low prices, exceptional service, and lifetime warranty, you know what else they have? A no-risk, no-pressure approach. If you are not 100% satisfied, you may return your vehicle in the first 7 days for your money back. The Hyundai you want, the service you deserve, all with Jenkins' exclusive lifetime warranty, no matter where you drive to. Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville.
Before the surgery, there's a lot of pain. Every time I would swim in a swim meet or any type of race or anything, I was like hunched over in pain.
Stetson Lane talks about her experience with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And then after the surgery, I'm back to doing everything I used to do, and so I feel great now. I would definitely go back to Southeast Orthopedic. They really made me feel like I was welcomed and at home.
Get your body moving again with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Find out more at se-ortho.com.
This is Golick and Wingo.
NFL insider Adam Schefter is with us. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Tom Coughlin comes out with this statement. Where do you think this is headed?
They're going to be exploring other avenues, with them being one of the most, if not the most disappointing team in football, starting at the quarterback position. They'll start there, and they'll branch out, and I would expect that they'll obviously discuss the idea of moving on from Leonard Fournette, as they will with other disappointing players there this offseason.
Golick and Wingo, weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Give it to me, Coos.
I'm trying, man. It's not playing.
Oh, it's not working. I was waiting for it.
Hold on, give me a...
You're going to get it. Yeah,
there it is.
There it is. Got to push that button. The happy hour horn, a little late on happy hour. We got a lot happening here.
Yeah, we do.
On ESPN 690. It's live radio, people. And thanks to Herschel Walker for stopping by. I didn't think there was a chance Herschel Walker was coming back.
Yeah, man.
And by the way, you're getting into this now, man. You're a radio guy now.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you got Deontay Wilder. I thought you guys were going to have to fight for us to go to break.
Yeah.
And you didn't want them to usher away Herschel Walker either.
No, not at all. I mean, you can kind of see it from the smile on my face. I mean, yesterday we had DDP, who's a big hero of mine. Then today, I mean, having the champ of the world, and then Herschel Walker, a guy who's really the first guy to go from, the field to fighting in the cage. It's been kind of overwhelming, man, meeting all these people. And guess what? They're all cool, too, which is really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Herschel Walker, by the way, 56 years old.
56
years old. How about that?
That
He
dude
said
can
about his
still fight.
son. He said he speaks 4 different languages.
Yeah.
He's already, he said he should be a freshman. He's a junior. What he meant by that is academically.
Yeah, I know.
How bright he is. And, Herschel Walker to me is Bo Jackson. I said it. Bo Jackson, Herschel Walker. To me, are from an athlete standpoint. Deion Sanders, people will talk about him as an athlete, and there's so many fantastic athletes. But those guys were just specimens that, you don't get put on earth and you're built that way, it doesn't seem like.
Without a doubt. And he was being generous, too. Like he said, he was training AKA, against Daniel Cormier, who was, he's been to the Olympics and whatnot. And I know personally, because I've seen interviews with Daniel. Daniel said Herschel held his own, and that's a guy that didn't really wrestle that much growing up, but he held his own against an Olympic caliber wrestler. That's just you don't see that. As someone who's wrestled myself with the Olympic caliber wrestlers, it's a different animal.
Yeah, it is. What I go back to is New Jersey General days, right? He played from 83 to 85 for the New Jersey Generals, so I was 6, 7, 8 years old during that time, and I always tell people, I got into sports. I remember sports when I was 7. 7 was the year. So that would have been 1984. I can remember everything that happened in 84. Doug Flutie, by the way, started it because he had the Hail Mary against Miami. I remember the Detroit Tigers won the World Series that year. It was the year that Dan Marino and the Dolphins, at least it was really 83 season, went to the Super Bowl, played the San Francisco 49ers. And that's where I fell in love with Marino and the Dolphins because of Marino at the time as a kid. And that New Jersey Generals team was something that I watched a lot of in the USFL because of Flutie. I was a huge Flutie fan. He's from the New England area. He's from Massachusetts. And so to have Flutie and Herschel Walker, it was such a big deal before, the whole Cowboys, Vikings, and everything else throughout his career.
And what's so amazing, you kind of compared Herschel Walker to Bo Jackson, and rightfully so, just 2 freak athletes. I mean, is there anybody you can really compare him to, nowadays? And you got to take into account, too, this is, 20, 30 years ago when the technology and just, the way people worked out wasn't like it is now. I mean, they didn't have all those things at their benefit. So is there really anybody these days that you can compare any of those guys to?
That's a really good question. I mean, we have some unbelievable, I think amazing athletes. Even Shaquille O'Neal should be put in. It's a giant of a man who can move, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know from a specimen standpoint. Nobody's coming to mind like those 2 guys. But there are. They're just not coming to the top of my mind right now. And I don't know if it's a football player or a basketball player. But these guys were so big and just bigger than a life figures, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Because, again, you just don't see people made that way that could do the things they did. And it's unbelievable. I think I had the numbers right. 1,500 push-ups a day, 3,500 sit-ups a day. That takes time.
Yeah.
How does he find time to do that with all the other stuff he said he had going on?
Well, and you talk about their star power, and this is back when social media wasn't even a thing. Imagine if those guys were around today, just how worshipped they would be and whatnot. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, and I think for a younger audience, I don't know. You just saw Vito Stellino.
I saw Vito, man. I had to point him out.
Right. By the way, Vito might join us tomorrow.
Oh, cool. I'm going to be gone, unfortunately, but tell him I say what's up.
Yeah, that's right. Austin's taking off tonight. Won't be with us tomorrow, but we got a lot of stuff interview-wise that we did with Austin earlier in the week that we'll have tomorrow. But yeah, so I just think from a younger person standpoint, I think they know guys like Bo Jackson and Herschel Walker, and they're still there's this reverence to those kind of names and athlete, and not the most successful from a championship.
Oh no, but they're polarizing figures.
But just unbelievable athletes. When we talk about sports, those are just pure athletes, which is really cool. And by the way, I just want to tell Jacksonville and the MMA fan base in Jacksonville.
Yeah. They have to be pretty excited.
They should be, because there's never been this much MMA coverage in the history of sports radio in Jacksonville, Florida.
And I kind of forget that, too. Like, obviously, we're in Jacksonville, so it's about football and whatnot. But, at the same time, I'm a fan of these guys, man. So I kind of just get in cruise control and just go by myself.
Well, and I don't say that knocking it. Listen, I'm not this huge fanatic for MMA, but it's a segment of sports, and people are into it, and I think people can hear your passion for it, and these guys are involved in it, and they're big name guys.
Absolutely.
Right? So it continues to grow, and hey, we're just trying to reach every little bit of the audience, folks. That's it. A lot of football talk more, but a little MMA and wrestling doesn't do anybody any harm either.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hey, more to come. Marcel Robinson scheduled to join us, and Nate Burleson, he catches up with him. Coming up next on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Aaron. The Jaguars and Exalta have partnered to add a fresh coat of paint to TIAA Bank Field in the form of larger-than-life murals around the stadium's main concourse. The first mural made its debut this past December, but over the course of the next 4 years, 3 more Jacksonville-themed murals will be created in other corners of the stadium. And folks watching the Masters this year may notice some significant changes to the course. Already considered one of the tougher holes in Augusta, the par 4 fifth has been lengthened from 455 yards to 495 yards. Tiger Woods is hoping to win his 5th Masters later this year. He says his performance recently at Torrey Pines made him pretty optimistic.
I drove the ball better, hit my irons a little bit cleaner, and again, I hit good putts. Some didn't go in, some did. Just continue with the track. I have a couple more months of prep before April, so things are heading the right direction.
When Woods won his first of 4 Masters in '97, Augusta measured 6,925 yards. Since then, the course has grown by more than 500 yards. You can listen to us live on your computer 24/7 at ESPN690.com.
What's up? It's Justin, producer of Action Sports Jacks, here on ESPN 690, and we've got your chance to win some tickets to March Madness at the Jacksonville Memorial Arena. All you need to do is enter this secret word on our sister station, WOKV.com, under the contest tab. The secret word is Bracket Buster. The word is Bracket Buster.
Rev up your engine and save on a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Arlington Toyota is kicking off 2019 with big savings on their huge selection of over 1,000 new and pre-owned on the lot every day. Get a 2019 Corolla LE starting at just $14,888. That's a pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE for just $14,888. Want to join the club? Get the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club, and it comes with your newer pre-owned purchase, packed with discounts on service and parts, trade-in cash, and more. Arlington Toyota is giving you all the buying confidence you need with iPreCheck, powered by TransUnion. With iPreCheck, you can check your credit without affecting your score and get instant payment results custom to you. No Social Security number required. Shop Arlington Toyota in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Track the Toyota is back at Arlington. Follow Arlington Toyota on Facebook and Twitter for contest details, and you could win a $100 gift card plus $500 off your next Arlington Toyota purchase.
There's a place in North Jacksonville where babies are born in the region's most modern, comfortable labor and delivery suites, where life-saving emergency care is available around the clock, where top UF Health doctors offer the latest advances in medical care. That place? UF Health North. Conveniently located off I-95 on Max Leggett Parkway, UF Health North is quickly becoming the region's top choice for health care. Learn more at north.ufhealthjacks.org.
Hi, my name is Connor. I live at the Rudolph Boys Ranch with about 50 other boys. We come to the ranch because we can't live at home or we just don't have one.
Rudolph Boys Ranch doesn't receive any government support for childcare and raises funds by auctioning off donated vehicles every month. If you have a boat, car, motorcycle, RV, truck, or tractor in any condition, Google Boys Ranch Palatka to donate. If you don't have a vehicle, cash donations are accepted. Google Boys Ranch Palatka.
Remember, it's better to build boys than to mend men.
Hi, it's Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park, where our no-bull pricing and express sales process will have you out the door in your new Chevy fast. No Bull means transparent, easy to understand pricing without the gimmicks or fluffy add-ons that just slow the process down. Fast, fair, and transparent is what you can always expect at Gordon Chevy. And right now we have our new Silverados starting at $24,900, our new Colorado starting at $23,900, only at the money-saving end of Blanding Boulevard and online at GordonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Sports Center updates at the top and bottom of every hour. And the latest breaking news and sports around the clock. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690.
You watch Action Sports Jax on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Now Action Sports Jax is on your radio.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Here's your host, Brent Martineau.
Oh, we're just running into everybody here
are
on Radio Row. ESPN 690, Action Sports Jax on the radio at Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta. We've got our interview with Ken Rogers, who directed 30 for 30 Dion's double play, coming up in just a few minutes. But let's welcome back Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, and Lige Duzabal, the former Jacksonville Jaguar. Kind of like, where are they now?
Found this dude on the street, as Joe Collins used to say. Found this dude on the street.
What do you say? Heat pile in the back.
Yeah,
right?
Heat pile in the back. No, he's rocking this three-piece suit now. Yeah. We wasn't in the street, man. We found him out here.
Lige Duzabal, one of the fun guys in that Jags locker room. Always good to us, at least in the media. We always appreciate that. Gone on to have a nice career in the NFL. Just got out of it last year, you told me. Yep. And now you're with CBS Sports.
That's right. I've been working with CBS Sports this year in SNY in New York. I played a lot of my career in New York also with playing in Jacksonville, playing with the Jets up there. So it's just been a blessing. It's just like football. It's a grind. Being in the media, it's a grind. So I'm just trying to not figure out what's next, because I know what's next. But as far as going forward, like which media outlet I will be working with full time.
Well, that's what Austin Lane's doing now. We just started this radio show 3 weeks ago.
Job, man.
Okay.
So here we are. Here we are.
Okay, I love it. I love it.
So just trying to get my reps in right now.
That's right. So hey, anytime you want to do some radio in Jacksonville, you give us a buzz. All right.
Oh, definitely. Anytime I'm in Jacksonville, I will call you guys up.
Well, let's put you in analysis mode then.
Okay.
Rams, Patriots.
Definitely.
What is the difference in this football game, in your opinion?
Honestly, to me, I think it's the run game from New England. Sony Michel has played a heck of a postseason. He's averaging 4.6 yards a carry. But transversely, the Rams have played dominant on the run game. They've only given up 2.3 yards a carry. And Ndamukong Suh is playing like the 23-year-old Ndamukong Suh right now. He's found a fountain of youth. And paired with Aaron Donald, it's very scary. You got Dante Fowler coming off the edge. As you saw in the NFC Championship game, that big play that Johnson had the interception on, Fowler applied the pressure. So I can't believe Jacksonville traded him. That to me makes no sense. But, hey, he was going to probably leave him for agency, so you got to do what you got to do.
Wow, there you go. You've done your homework, by the way, if you're throwing up some numbers on the run game. I really like that. Definitely. Why is it, and Austin has said it all weekend, we kind of know it because we've seen people be able to do it against Tom Brady and the Patriots. But why is it the interior pressure against Brady that's so effective?
It's so effective because Brady likes to step up into the pocket, and that's where he finds guys. He finds Edelman. He finds Gronk. Guys like Hogan in the past, guys like Amendola across the middle. When quarterbacks step up into the middle of the pocket, they can find guys in the middle of the field, and that's where Tom feels his most comfortable at. So when you get that pressure up the middle and it's in Tom Brady's face, he's not comfortable. As you can tell, he's always worried about guys being around his knees. He had that ACL earlier in his career, so I think that really goes through his head when he gets that pressure up the middle. And when you have two hosses up the middle, like Sue and Donald coming up the middle at you, it's easy for guys like Fowler to come off the edge and make plays. So I think that's going to be a major factor in this game, too. Can they get that pressure up the middle consistently?
And obviously playing against Tom Brady, as you know and I know, he gets the ball out quick. So it can be really frustrating as a defensive lineman where you have a good pass rush move and, balls out in 2 seconds. So, getting that interior push is definitely important against Tom Brady.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, playing with the Jets and then playing in Buffalo, playing against Brady for 5 years of my career in the AFC East, that was probably one of the most frustrating things to me is you make a great move, like you said, Austin, and the ball's out, and it's like, damn, but you can't get frustrated because that's what New England wants you to do. New England's never going to beat themselves. They're like like a robotic system. Like they do everything right. So you have to force them to drive the length of the field, and you just got to keep rushing and not get frustrated.
It's unbelievable and sickening at the same time, isn't
no
it?
Question,
Especially for you guys as players. I'm sure that had to go up against it. All right, we got to go in a minute. Ligier Douzable with us, obviously former Jags player. Were you at the Colts for a while too?
No, I never.
It was
played
just
for
the Jets.
Jets.
So it was just Jags and Jets.
Jets, and then I finished with Buffalo and San Fran.
Okay, all right. But I need some dirt on Lane, man. I mean, so
easy.
You got
easy.
a locker room story. This could be a long relationship. I need to go back and throw something back at him.
Nah,
I was pretty clean, man.
I was pretty clean.
You guys
He used to get upset at weird stuff, though, man.
Oh, here we go.
He used to get upset at weird stuff on the field, but he was pretty clean.
Yeah, well, me and Evan Britton always kind of went at it a couple times,
Those used to be some great battles. Him and Evan Britton, they used to get at it.
Both had a little crazy in.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right, dude. So I have to ask you before we go, man. I saw you at College Game Day.
You did.
UCF. Obviously, you're a big UCF kind of guy.
Oh, no question.
The past 2 years, how fun has it been? Where are they right now? The state of the program, and what do you see from them in the future?
I mean, it's been amazing the last 2 years to have a win streak of 25 games. Something that few teams in history have ever done. And, we like all the hate from everybody from Bama and other schools. You guys don't play nobody, But we've competed. I mean, even the game we lost to versus LSU, we didn't have an All-American quarterback playing, and we still only lost about one score. And there were so many opportunities for us to actually bust that game open. If you saw in the beginning, we had the pick six. We go up big, and then we stop them twice on third downs. But then we have young guys that have penalties, and celebration penalties, and you can't give a team in the SEC that many chances because they're going to beat you. And I like where the program's headed. I think you can see by our recruiting class alone this year, we're getting a lot of 4-star, 3-star guys. So I think that we're trending up. And now if we can move conferences, this debate could be over with. And we're tired of hearing everybody talk. I mean, the ACC, if you hear this, we're ready to join. We know, Florida State and Miami don't want that.
Yeah.
But if you want another team that has a passionate fan base, it's even looking good in basketball this year. We're getting votes in the top 25. And
great facilities.
Great facilities. Looking to go to the tournament in basketball. So we're not just a one-trick pony. Our baseball team is really good. Our track and field girls team is really good. I mean, we've been dominant in our conference for, I would say, going on the last 5 or 6 years, and not just in football.
Ligier Douzable, great to see you, man. And by the way, I think UCF's a sleeping giant if they can get into a Power 5. I really do, right there in Central Florida. Great to catch up with you, man.
It's great to see you, man. Hey, I wish you best of luck in your next endeavor, but stay away from this radio show in Jacksonville. Right? This is my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Call in. We'll have you on from time to time. You're going to be good at this. You're going to be really good at this. Good luck with CBS. Hey, we'll be back right after this. We talk Deion's double play with the director of the latest 30 for 30 next on ESPN 690.
Hey, it's Jacksonville's Morning News host Rich Jones. If you're here looking for news, weather, and traffic from News 104.5 WOKV, you need to change your radio preset. We're now only on 104.5 FM. If you're here for all things sports, you are in the right place. This is ESPN 690, Golick and Wingo, Dan Lebitard, Stephen A. Smith, and the home of Action Sports Jacks on the radio. The best news on 104.5 FM, the best sports on 690 AM.
There's nothing like sitting down for a personal conversation with Eddie and Chuck from Farah and Farah, and you can do that every Saturday at noon on News 104.5 WOKV. Join Eddie and Chuck every Saturday on the Consumer Law Hour, where they break down everything from personal injury to civil rights. Join them and be part of the conversation on the Consumer Law Hour, brought to you by Farah and Farah, every Saturday at noon on News 104.5 WOKV.
At World Imports, we're car people. We love cars. If you're in the market for a luxury pre-owned automobile, we can help. We don't just sell you a car. We help you select your car, the car you've been dreaming about. No gimmicks here, no free TVs, and we won't put your car in a new age vending machine. Audi, BMW, Infiniti, Mercedes, or any other high-end pre-owned automobile, view our inventory at worldimportsusa.com. We'll find the car that makes the most sense for your style and budget. Visit us today at worldimportsusa.com.
I'm Julie Harrell. When you've been involved in an accident, a lot of things will be happening. Dealing with the police, filling out accident reports. But as soon as you can, call Harrell & Harrell. You're going to be facing complex medical issues in a world you've never been exposed to. Life has got to go back to normal, but you're not normal. You're hurt. We'll help. It's what we do. Give us a call if you've been in an accident. Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Jacksonville. Introducing Salt Life Lager.
the perfect beer for those who live the salt life. Salt Life Lager is also the perfect beer for those who live the outdoor life, the beach life, the fishing life, the festival life, the boat life, the yacht life, the tailgate life, the stay home and relax life, even the sit around and talk about life. In fact, Salt Life Lager is the perfect beer for just about any life, starting with yours. Salt Life Lager, a salty state of mind. Available now at ABC Liquors, Publix, and Winn-Dixie locations. Visit saltlifebeer.com for more information. Must be at least 21 to drink. Please drink responsibly.
Taking a drive to date night, or taking a drive for the kids to get to school, or how about taking the kids to practice? Do all of that in a new Hyundai from the new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on the new ESPN690, and our family loves our Hyundai Santa Fe. The new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is now open for business. This new state-of-the-art Hyundai dealership was built from the ground up with you in mind. No matter what you do, day to day, take a drive with Hyundai. They offer a lifetime warranty that is good anywhere in the United States. And along with the low prices, exceptional service, and lifetime warranty, you know what else they have? A no-risk, no-pressure approach. If you are not 100% satisfied, you may return your vehicle in the first 7 days for your money back. The Hyundai you want, the service you deserve, all with Jenkins' exclusive lifetime warranty, no matter where you drive to. Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville.
This is Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
This is going to be fun. I love the 30 for 30s that ESPN does, and they've got a new one coming out tonight, Deion's Double Play. Deion Sanders, of course, the day where he played a little football and baseball. And the man that directed that latest film is Ken Rogers. He joins us right now, and you're like Christmas morning probably today, right? This thing gets unveiled.
Yeah, you know, it's weird. You live with a film for so long and no one else has seen it. And, you know, I hope we had a premiere here yesterday here at the Super Bowl, and people responded positive. And that was really the first hint I had of, wow, people really do enjoy Deion Sanders and this story. And I hope everyone does that watches tonight.
All right, you've got the character, right? I mean,
yeah.
Deion Sanders. I mean, you can start with that, and then you can go from there, and you've got an event. Because of that event that happened in his double play. What was it like having Deion as your main focus?
What's crazy is that there are two main focuses, because Deion Sanders is not primetime. They're two different people. And that's what really is the most interesting part of the film for me, is that Deion admits that in college he created the primetime persona in order to raise his value as a cornerback in football. So he created this character that was bigger than life and would garner a lot of attention. But primetime couldn't play baseball because the culture of baseball is one of no individuality, teamwork first. You play a lot of games. It's all about your overall team and individual expression. I mean, you're not even allowed to look at your home run as it goes off. Well, primetime, you know, danced into the end zone every time he got a chance. So that guy couldn't show up for baseball. So this film's actually about two people. It's about Deion Sanders and primetime and the battle he had between wanting to be both. He wanted to play both sports.
You know, looking back at primetime, I mean, he was a star player, obviously, and he commanded attention and everything like that. If you fast forward to nowadays and social media and just how big everything is, do you think not only he'd probably be the biggest sports entertainer, obviously, but maybe just like the biggest celebrity in the whole world?
He certainly would take advantage of social media today. And this event by itself, I believe, would be the biggest sports story of the year. There's no doubt. I mean, you look at what Tim Tebow does, you know, he hits a home run and it's all over, and you're like, yeah, that's okay. It's in Double-A. Deion Sanders in 1992, we're talking about the Hall of Fame cornerback in the NFL, maybe the best player in his position ever. When he played baseball, he didn't just play baseball. He played 97 games only 97 games, and led the entire major leagues in triples with 14. He was great with steals. He was incredible on the baseball field, and it was his second sport.
Yeah.
And so you imagine someone doing that today and being that good. I mean, he changed games with his speed, with his steals, with his triples. I can't imagine what it would be like. Would he be the most famous person in the world? I don't know, but certainly he'd be the most famous person in sports.
Yeah.
There's so many ways I want to take this, but because you just brought up Tim Tebow, and I also want to bring up Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Because obviously, listen, the Jags are looking at a quarterback, and I think it's a scary thing for an organization to say, okay, I mean, that's a quarterback position. You've got to be all in at the QB spot. You can't be taking batting practice on Tuesday afternoon instead of watching film. At least I don't think you can. So, but it feels like more prevalent than ever, even in baseball now. You've got two-way players, whether it's Ohtani or some. Maybe we get to this where you can do both a little bit. I don't know. What are your feelings after living this film for so long of what Tim Tebow was trying to do after not playing baseball for a decade, and also a Kyler Murray who was a risky pick in the NFL draft?
I think it's to the point where it has to be one or the other. I really don't think there will be another Deion Sanders. Certainly not performing at that level of both. Bo Jackson did it before, and I think you can argue forever about who was better there between the two. But when you talk about Kyler Murray, these days the finances require an all-in commitment. I don't think anyone would draft or get him on their team, baseball or football, and be okay with the split time anymore. And he's a rarity, really, because kids now grow up specializing in one sport, and the athletes are getting so much better at particular sports because it's all they concentrate on, that a kid like Deion, who grew up in Fort Myers, just playing in the playground, 3 sports actually. He played basketball and was pretty darn good. In college, he was pretty darn good in track. It was just his natural ability. He just played. But that wouldn't be enough today. Today, it takes the hours upon hours. So I think Kyler's going to have to decide, and I think it's going to be a tough decision. Deion has said publicly that he would advise maybe baseball because of the finances.
And the health.
Health. You get paid a lot more, and it beats up your body less. But when he makes that decision, if he's going to excel, I don't think he can try to do anything else.
Deion, playing baseball and going to football and back again. What was the perception like from his coaches and obviously like his manager? I mean, were they encouraging or did they kind of dislike that?
Yeah. Well, once again, you talk about the difference between football and baseball. So his football coach was Jerry Glanville, the man in black who encouraged MC Hammer to hang out on the sideline of Falcons games. I mean, he wore big belt buckles and, he was a big character himself. He was great with it. And he actually says in the film that, on this weekend when Deion tried to play both sports in the same day, Deion wasn't there all week, so he decided he was not going to start Deion. So he benched him for one play and then put him in because he knew, hey, I need Deion. No matter if he's here or not here, he's a great player. I'm going to use him. Now, baseball, Bobby Cox, and especially John Schuerholz, the GM of the Braves, they didn't see it that way at all. They were very, very adamant that if you decide you're going to play for us in the postseason, in the NLCS, then we don't want you leaving. And Deion saw it as well. I won't miss a game, but in between games, I'm going to jet down and play for the Falcons. The Braves did not like that, and it really colored the relationship from then on. I mean, he signed a long-term contract, but then was traded to the Reds, and it was because of the fallout of this event, of this weekend, that if it happened today would be the biggest news story of the year.
Yeah, obviously everybody has always made the play in NASCAR with the Indy 500, the double there, right? I mean, right. We think that's cool. We think it's different. But what I wonder about, especially because of the perception of Deion sometimes, and you've now lived this film and you lived that day, is that day looked upon as a selfish play by Deion Sanders, or was this a guy trying to be loyal to both of his locker rooms and his teammates and help them out in big situations?
I'd like you to tell me, because everyone who watches the film feels differently. I think if you're a baseball type person who thinks that one thing at a time. If you're old school, like a lot of baseball fans are, because that's why they love the sport, the tradition, then you're going to look at this film and really feel like Deion was being selfish. I mean, you can make an argument, okay, you didn't miss the game, Deion, you made it back, but you missed warm-ups. You know, they didn't know if your plane was going to arrive in time. They have to set their lineups. Yeah, okay, you were there, but come on, you're kind of, messing with them. If you're Deion's side, I know what Deion would say. He'd say, hey, a cheetah doesn't need to stretch. And so if you're predisposed to like Deion, you're going to love Deion in this film. If you're predisposed to think that this was an act of marketing and trying to become bigger than the game, you'll think that. Because the truth is, I think both are true.
Yeah.
I think Deion was a really loyal teammate and wanted to be there, but he was well aware of his marketing image and what this was going to do. And I think it blew up a little bit for him. I think he thought it was going to be a lot more positive than it turned out to be.
Yeah, very interesting. You did the two Bills as well, Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells. And people love that one, right? I mean, because we got to see a side of Bill Belichick. I mean, people still, just last week, I think we were talking about Bill Belichick, and you talk about personality, and you talk about all these things, and they said, yeah, but in the two Bills, it changed my perspective on it. Did it change yours? And just how well received was that 30 for 30 that you did?
That's the response I get is, wow, you SOB, you made me like Belichick a little bit. What am I supposed to do now? I thought he was the dark Sith, and now I think I realize he's just a regular guy. I wasn't really surprised because I've seen it, but I think it's a lot like Deion. He doesn't care to let everyone know who he is. He's comfortable enough, and to be honest, in a self-confidence way that not many people have, that he's okay if people dislike him. It doesn't really bother him. He doesn't mind that people think he's grumpy and all, and he puts on that face. I would care.
Yeah, it's not a natural thing,
I'm
right?
sitting here right now trying to sound professional and look the part, and that's what we do as people. Bill Belichick is so secure with who he is that he doesn't feel the need to do that. And once in a while, he lets that wall down, as he did in the two Bills, and you say, oh, he's a real guy, and he's nice. And here he is apologizing to somebody that he was in this heated war for, and talking about how they love each other. And it was an amazing thing to see that wall break down for everyone to view, because I think long term people are going to forget about those grumpy press conferences and remember him as just this master of not just football but of himself, the most self-disciplined man I've ever been around. He's always on to the next game, always on to the next play. If you watch him on the sidelines, he doesn't celebrate touchdowns. He's already on to the next thing. That takes such strength of character that I'm not sure we'll ever see someone that as strong-willed again.
Ken Rogers with us, directed the two Bills, directing Deion's double play that will debut tonight, of course, on ESPN. And as we let you go, and I know you've got a lot to do, I'm a TV guy by nature, TV geek, if you will. I love the behind the scenes of the industry. These 30 for 30s have changed the landscape of television in a lot of ways, in my opinion. First of all, tell me if I'm wrong about that and I've missed something. And just the whole birth of this thing, it's had to have taken off, I mean, to the nth degree more than anybody would have predicted. Do you see it that same way, or what am I missing?
There's very often one show that can change everything. A lot of people point back to The Sopranos as starting off this golden age of TV hours on cable television. I've been working on Hard Knocks for a decade plus, and I think that show, when it came on HBO, redefined the sports reality realm.
Sure did.
When it comes to historical docs, 30 for 30 it's like Kleenex. It's the brand that defines the genre. When you talk to anyone about sports documentaries, they'll say 30 for 30. So the platform is a great one to tell stories, because that non-sports fans are aware of it. And that's really the golden egg for all of us in working in sports is, okay, we know sports fans are interested in this story, but are there significant others, or are there parents or kids who aren't really into the story? Are they going to watch and be enthralled by the story enough that they start to become sports fans.
Yeah.
And that's really the genius of the 30 for 30 model is creating this genre that is so hooked to that name. I mean, it was 30 films for 30 filmmakers to celebrate 30 years. Well, I mean, I think this is film 100.
I was
going to
say, what is it?
I think this is 100. So it's like, I mean, it's not 30 for 30 anymore. The title doesn't even make sense. I wouldn't tell ESPN that, but, you know, it doesn't work anymore. Yet it still defines sports documentaries today. So it's really a study in branding. I would guess that anywhere in sports studies in college, they're studying how do you create something like 30 for 30.
Yeah, it's really helped change the landscape. By the way, we're talking Deion's double play. Austin Lane played football in the NFL for 5 years. Now he's an MMA fighter. Yeah. See, we got our own little double play here on ESPN 690.
Hey, start filming.
There we go. I like the idea, man. Brett, get on it. Let's go.
We're getting on it. We always record the shows. We'll do that. All right, one last one before you go. What do you want to do that you haven't done yet? Can you tell us, or are those secrets that you don't want anybody to?
I think we're in the middle of it right now. The Tom Brady experience. I don't even know. I don't think it's a film. I think it's a 30-part series.
Yeah.
I think you could do so much, and we've captured so much through the Patriots, and the Patriots have captured so much. I think he will go down as the most disciplined player and strong in mind player, just like Belichick will go down as the strongest coach ever. Maybe not, certainly not the most athletic.
Yeah. True.
All right, no
True.
way.
Yeah.
But what he has inside of him is something that I don't think you have to study it if you want to be a quarterback. I think if you want to be a CEO or you want to be an MMA fighter or you want to be a lawyer, you'd be good off studying Tom Brady and figuring out what he has in his head that allows him to do what he has done. And trying to replicate it because he's not like the rest of us.
No, and much like you did with Parcells and Belichick, he's got a curtain that's still up, and there's so much unknown about Brady. I mean, we know he doesn't drink coffee, we know his diet, and we know all that.
Yeah.
But we really don't know all those other things, and I got a feeling maybe Ken Rogers down the road will tell us about it.
That'll be a good one.
I'd like that.
Hey, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it. Tremendous work. I know I don't have to tell you that. You hear it all the time, but nice job. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Can't wait to watch it, man. Looking forward to it.
All right, thanks.
And that was Ken Rogers. The film is Deion's Double Play, premiering tonight on ESPN. Definitely something I'm going to be checking out. Hey, listen, when we come back, we got Ballin' and Fallin' coming up. I'm just going to say right now I'm going to apologize to the sponsors in advance because it might get a little weird and it might get a little freaky. So stay tuned, ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. New Orleans head coach Sean Payton had a hard time dealing with his loss in the NFC Championship game. Here's how he coped.
I would say, honestly, after the game for 2 to 3 days, much like normal people, I sat, probably didn't come out of my room. I ate Jenny's ice cream and watched Netflix for three straight days. There's certain vices you gravitate to. For me, it's probably sugar.
No word on who Jenny was or what he watched. Last night, the Gators took a victory in the SEC, beating Ole Miss 90-86, moving their win total to 12 on the year. And finally, Oklahoma head coach Lincoln Riley just got rich. Oklahoma University will now pay him $6 million a year in base salary with an opportunity for millions more annually with bonuses. That's your ESPN Sports Center update. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com.
All offers are with approved credit and not a conjunction. See dealer for complete details. Start something new sales event.
There's no better way to start the new year
than getting a great deal
on the cars, trucks, and SUVs you love to drive at Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Arlington. Choose from our great selection of Dodge Charger
or Challenger
and save up to $6,000 off MSRP. Drive home in a new Jeep Renegade and save up to $7,000. Get a new Jeep Cherokee from just $19,988. Every new Ram truck is sale priced at thousands below below what you'd expect to pay. Pick the one you want and save up to $12,000. Our lenders want to make you a new car loan today, even if you have less than perfect credit. See all our inventory at number1cjd.com. We're celebrating our best year ever. Join us for one of our best sales ever. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Arlington. No crazy sales tactics, just honest and friendly service you can count on. 9600 Atlantic Boulevard, across from the Regency Square Mall.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN690, a Cox Media Group station.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. With the NBA trade deadline still a week away, the Mavericks and Knicks put a deal together. Dallas will get Kristaps Porzingis, Courtney Lee, and Tim Hardaway Jr. New York gets Wesley Matthews, DeAndre Jordan, and Dennis Smith Jr. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski and Zach Lowe report if the Pelicans trade Anthony Davis anywhere other than the Lakers, he'll play with that team for only one full season. His plan then would be to become a free agent and sign with the Lakers in 2020. The Rams and Patriots are ramping up their prep for Super Bowl 53. The Rams defense will feature 7 first-round draft picks. That'll be a Super Bowl record. But will it be enough to thwart the Patriots' offense? Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan.
I think the key to this game is how the Patriots' offensive line handles LA's defensive line.
Yep.
And to me, that's how it goes. The Patriots always do a great job of game planning and trying to take guys out of games.
Matt Ryan on Golick and Wingo. The San Diego Padres are meeting today with baseball free agent outfielder Bryce Harper.
For special occasions like Valentine's, 1-800-Flowers has the best bouquets and deals around, like a dozen assorted roses for $19.99, or upgrade to 2 dozen assorted roses for $10 more. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code WILL.
You watch Action Sports Jacks on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Now Action Sports Jacks is on your radio.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios.
Here's your host, Brent Martineau.
Austin Lane taking it to break like a pro. Yeah. The whiteboard magic says, Mama, I closed my first segment.
Yeah.
And did it well.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Truth be told, that was the most nervous I've ever been in radio so far. Honestly. I've sat next to Deontay Wilder, and we had some cool interviews.
Brent, can I tell you something?
That was the most nervous I've ever been.
Oh, you can. What's that?
Oh, I didn't want to make you any more nervous, but all the higher-ups were in the room with me when you did that.
Oh.
Nice.
How about that? So did they give it a thumbs up?
Oh, yeah.
Like it?
Yeah, they were good with it, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see how Ballin goes eventually, and then maybe they'll be disappointed. But that's later on in the show.
Not yet. Good work by Austin Lane getting us to break. Coming out of Ken Rogers, I thought that was a fun conversation. I know people like the 30 for 30s, and again, you can check that one out tonight with Deion Sanders and that Wild Day Let's Play 2 for Deion. Brent Martineau, along with Austin Lane, Marcel Robinson, Stuart Weber here, Justin Kuzart back there, and he's still freaking out about the Porzingis trade in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a lot going on. We had Herschel Walker on, Deontay Wilder on. We already heard from Kyle Rudolph as well. Going to hear from Nate Burleson coming up. Maybe even Brian Billick. I'm telling you what, we got a lot happening, don't we?
Absolutely.
I just saw Dan Marino.
How was that?
I love Dan.
Yeah.
I mean, my room as a kid, it was probably scary and looked like a Dan Marino shrine.
For sure.
I mean, it was. I don't know why I liked Marino so much. Again, I told you earlier in the show, it was like my first time I remember seeing a Super Bowl, Marino was in it. I don't know if I just liked the colors. I don't know if I loved Marino throwing all over the yard. He was the next big thing at the time. I remember he was a rookie when he went there and had that sensational year. So
also started an Ace Ventura Pet Detective, so the guy's done it all. Brent.
He has done it all, and isotoner gloves.
Isotoner gloves.
As well.
Yes.
And your son played golf at UNF.
Okay.
And Joey Marino. Yeah. And really, I caught up with him, and I just said, how's your son doing? And Nova Southeastern down in South Florida, he's the golf coach now down there, top 5 in the country, he said, in Division II. So good for him. Maybe someday we'll get Dan Marino on the show. We do have Marcel Robinson on the show.
A very humbled Marcel.
Wait a minute.
Humbled.
There was
Why?
no
What happened?
humbling experience.
First of all, it's hard to humble Marcel Robinson.
Well, he's been humbled. That's fine. Put your shades on. You're still humbled.
Yeah, the last guy that sat there with shades on, they had like 25 diamonds around him.
Yep.
Those are like $6.
I took him out. I was worried about causing too much of a ruckus.
Do you believe Deontay Wilder said he had $140,000 worth of stuff on?
Yeah. That's what happens
Well,
when you're a champ, bro.
I guess if you got $140,000 worth of stuff and you're the heavyweight champ,
yeah,
you're not worried about somebody coming and grabbing it.
Yeah, who's going to take it from him? Honestly.
Although, isn't it true that boxers are not allowed to use their hands in self-defense because their hands are registered weapons?
That's a good point. Yeah, we actually talked about that
Is
a little
that
bit.
fact?
Good call.
That's a
Yeah, it is
fact.
fact. So I had to register my hands as deadly weapons like when I first turned pro. And if I was to get in a fight, even in self-defense, and I hurt somebody, they can sue me. Yeah, and I get arrested.
Assault with a deadly weapon.
Why didn't I know that?
So I'm using jiu-jitsu.
I haven't been in enough fights.
Yeah, so I'm using jiu-jitsu.
How about your feet? Could you kick them?
I didn't register my feet. That's a good point, Brent.
Oh, that's a game
I
changer.
like that. But and I appreciate Marcel trying to get off topic here. Marcel, but why are you humbled again? Because we didn't go over that yet. So
Well,
let's go.
I am a humbled
individual.
individual. I'm a humbled individual because my mother raised me correctly. That's why I'm a humble individual.
Mm-hmm. Something happened today, though. Let's get into that.
You know,
Are we supposed to share this, or is this a secret? I don't even know what you're talking about.
You know, Austin's going to try to spin this one way or another, but we did have a little mini competition that was cut short at the NFL experience. Austin did win 2 events to 1.
So I won.
You're man enough.
I can take an L.
And here's the reason why I was cut short, because the last event. So basically, what we did today, it was a quarterback challenge, right? So we did all the quarterbacking drills. It was an accuracy one. There was a touch one where you kind of had to throw a ball like 30 yards, try to get in the net. Obviously, I dominated all that. Marcel, while he had some pretty decent accuracy, was just lobbing softballs in there, like just rainbows.
I'm a
Unfortunately, couldn't throw it 30 yards, and they had to cancel the game early, and we had to leave because we had a show to do. So I won because he couldn't throw a ball 30 yards.
See, this is what I'm talking about here. I knew he was going to spin this a different way.
That's facts, Marcel.
Anyone in our sports office can attest to this. I have said on record numerous times, I cannot throw the ball accurate farther than 20 yards. You give me 10 to 15, I'll bang it in there. The competition he's referring to, I did throw the ball 30 yards. I just couldn't throw it into the net accurately.
I got you.
But I did throw the ball 30 yards. And what he's leaving out is the fact that the first competition was an accuracy competition. You had 5 targets.
Mm-hmm.
He missed twice. The last one, we're still not sure if we're counting that as a hit.
It was a hit.
Nonetheless, he missed twice, and I banged all 5 on the first try.
That's true, but
and they were within my 10 to 15 yard range.
But Marcel Robinson would say that his hands are like a net.
Hey,
he's better catcher than passer.
And you know what? And that's peachy and everything like that. That's really peachy. But the fact is, we have it on footage, and which we're probably going to share later on the TV show and everything, so people can be the judge.
All right, we'll do it. All right, let's get to some business here. Even though that was good, I'm glad to see you took an L and took it like a man,
humble
Marcel. And by the way, between Roma last week in Mobile and darts the other night, Austin needs a little, build me up too sometimes. This tough guy, former NFL guy, MMA guy, radio star.
I'll let him have this one.
Needs a build up.
Appreciate it, man. Well, hey, you know what? He is driving me home tonight, and God knows how that's going to go. So I'm going to respect the guy, and I'm being his corner.
I'll tell you, I was going to go 70 miles an hour the whole way.
Yeah.
All right, you caught up with Nate Burleson. We talked a lot about him, the swag of Burleson, but he's really good from a football knowledge standpoint, isn't he?
Yeah, we talked to him yesterday. He's actually, like I said yesterday, he's one of my favorite guys on television. It's funny because and first of all, Romo's great. Like, he gets all deservingly, so he gets all the credit, for being someone that played the game and being able to kind of relay that, all the information, but not seem like he's talking down. I think that's one problem that some former players have earlier in their, sportscasting debuts. But I feel like Nate does a real good job of it, bringing out his personality and also kind of teaching a little bit about the game, and it's going pretty well for him at CBS.
Here's Marcel Robinson with Nate Burleson, the 11-year wide receiver and now star on NFL Network and CBS Sports.
Being a former player, how do you channel that passion as a player to come across the TV the right way?
Man, it's easy for me. I left the game in 2014, and I didn't think I'd have a chance to be part of a Super Bowl. I had to let go of that dream, but now, I'm going to be talking about the storylines, and we have a couple features. I pre-taped something with Jermaine Dupri, and he's showing me the city of Atlanta. So, this is one of those moments that I get to check off the list, and I've been thinking about this day for a long time. I would have loved for it to have been as a player, but in 11 years, never sniffed the big game. Now as an analyst, I get to work it, which is an absolute blessing. So just naturally, I think people are going to tune in and they'll see me, with goosebumps and talking to the camera with more passion than maybe some of the players that are playing in the game.
You kind of bring that kind of style, swaggy kind of flavor, there you go, to the game. And how great does it feel for you to be able to kind of have that be your ringing endorsement? Like, that's your thing.
Yeah, no, it's great. JB is one of the best to ever do it. One of the greatest TV personalities in the business. And, of course, Phil and Boom and Coach, like, they've welcomed me with open arms. But I think the biggest compliment that I've received from the guys is that, one, I know the game. When you have football minds compliment you, that's always a great thing to have by your side. And then the fact that I love the game, they can appreciate that I'm not just showing up on TV mailing it in. I'm coming with it every day and trying to give a unique perspective. And of course, being young and fresh out of the game and tied into fashion and music, it's part of who I am.
And last question for you. Obviously, being a player, you love the game.
50 seconds.
The game doesn't come down to one play, but with the the missed calls that we had, especially last week, do you see that kind of changing the landscape of the NFL future?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, the NFL's done a great job of addressing certain things every single season. I think this is going to be another example of that. A couple years ago, they wanted to make sure that the catch rule was a little bit more defined, and they did a great job this year. There weren't too many bobble catches that we didn't know what it was.
25 seconds.
But when it comes to certain calls, I think the NFL might have to address the fact that you might need to challenge no calls or PIs, because some of these games being decided in
15 seconds
are out of the control of the players or even the coaches. It's
10 seconds.
Not only to the players, but we have to empathize with the fans at home that have
5
time, energy, money, traveling, supporting their team, and then
1.
It's gone.
All right, good takes from Nate Burleson with Marcel Robinson here this week at Super Bowl 53, and I think he sees it from all angles. I think you're right. He's got a good grasp on what it was like to be a player. So that side, obviously the broadcast booth now, but also feeling it for the fans too, is what he just talked about there. Sharp dude.
Yeah, sharp dude, sharp dresser.
More on the Instagram front coming up. When are you going to release that thing?
That will be this weekend. I may. We have a late arrival this evening in Jacksonville, so we may have to do something about that. But this weekend for sure.
All right, some editing going on when Nate Burleson breaks down the attire of Marcel Robinson.
The world is waiting by a string right now.
Ballin' and Fallin', which you teased so nicely. But
Yeah.
we didn't deliver right
Sorry
there.
to the sponsors, like I said.
We have it coming up next. And also, Stuart Weber will join us. He catches up with Maurice Jones-Drew. We are rocking and rolling from Radio Row, Super Bowl 53 on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
The iPhone XR is here at T-Mobile, and there's a whole lot to love, like those perfect portrait mode selfies you're going to share.
Nice.
And how Memojis now turn every FaceTime with the kids into fun time. In fact, the only thing you'll love more than your iPhone XR is getting it included in the price when you get an unlimited plan. That's right, get both unlimited and iPhone XR included for just $40 a month. Sure, you can get unlimited somewhere else. But for the same price at T-Mobile, you get unlimited and iPhone XR. Join today and get iPhone XR included with your unlimited plan for just $40 a line for 4 new lines. Call 1-800-T-Mobile or visit a store today.
$30 for essentials plus $10 for iPhone XR with autopay and qualifying trade-ins via 36 bill credits. Customers may notice lower speeds and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs per month. Video at 480p for well-qualified buyers plus taxes and fees. Contact us before canceling or remaining balances due. Qualifying service and finance agreements required. 0 down plus $20.84 per month for 36 months. Full price $749.99, 0% APR.
Hi, it's Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park, where our no bull pricing and express sales process will have you out the door in your new Chevy fast. No bull means transparent, easy to understand pricing without the gimmicks or fluffy add-ons that just slow the process down. Fast, fair, and transparent is what you can always expect at Gordon Chevy. And right now we have our new Silverados starting at $24,900, our new Colorados starting at $23,900, only at the money-saving end of Blanding Boulevard and online at GordonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. If you've received a letter from the IRS and cannot pay them, things can get bad quickly. The IRS can seize your bank account, garnish your wages, and place liens against everything you own. If this is you, contact J. David Tax Law, a local firm right here in Jacksonville. Your first step to stop IRS harassment is a no-cost consultation. They explain exactly your options and how they will resolve your tax issue. Only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you, and fee payment plans are affordable for everyone. Get the protection you deserve. Peace of mind only a click or phone call away. The fastest way to get started is to call 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777, or online at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Get the protection you deserve. The fastest way to get started again, call 904-507-4777, or online at jdavidtaxlaw.com.
At World Imports, we're car people. We love cars. If you're in the market for a luxury pre-owned automobile, we can help. We don't just sell you a car. We help you select your car, the car you've been dreaming about. No gimmicks here, no free TVs, and we won't put your car in a new age vending machine. Audi, BMW, Infiniti, Mercedes, or any other high-end pre-owned automobile, view our inventory at worldimportsusa.com. We'll find the car that makes the most sense for your style and budget. Visit us today at worldimportsusa.com.
I really couldn't play golf. I couldn't even walk very far.
Here's Nancy Anderson to talk about her experience with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
I chose Southeast Orthopedic Specialist because of the reputation of the different surgeons and the hospital experience, and just overall, I'd heard so many great things. And truly, my life is enriched tenfold because now I can do anything.
Get your body moving again with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Find out more at se-ortho.com.
Parents, there's a better option for your child's development and education. Seacoast Christian Academy is a private school here in Jacksonville that offers challenging and engaging educational opportunities. Focused on a college preparatory curriculum that is backed by strong Christian values, they take on children as young as a year old through 12th grade. Right now, Seacoast Christian Academy is enrolling students who have the Step Up Scholarship. Step Up is an income-based scholarship program that most don't realize they qualify for. And Seacoast Christian Academy is accepting applications right now. For more information, call them or click seacoastchristianacademy.com.
It's Golick and Wingo.
Hall of Famer Tony Dungy. Rooney Rule in place. A lot of people say it's not working. What's going on with this, and what could be the remedy for this?
Ron Rivera, minority defensive coach, has been to a Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin, minority defensive coach, has won a Super Bowl. Anthony Lynn, minority running back coach. So that just kind of echoes my point. It doesn't have to be quarterback coach.
Golick and Wingo, weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN690 and ESPN690.com.
Welcome back to Radio Row, Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta, Georgia. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Stuart Weber joins us with Maurice Jones-Drew in just a minute. Just had Nate Burleson talking with Marcel Robinson. Loaded show, fun show, but time for a little ballin' and fallin' coming up right now on ESPN 690. Get us going, Austin Lane.
Warming it up, balling. Got to go LeBron James. Now, you may ask yourself, how can a guy who's missed about his 18th straight game due to a groin injury be balling right now? Look no more than Tuesday night in L.A. as the 76ers took on the Lakers. Like a middle-aged, stressed-out housewife, LeBron James took it upon himself to break out a bottle of wine, well, actually a Gatorade bottle of wine, and indulge himself with a little red. Was it the lackluster performance by losing by 16 to the Philadelphia 76ers? Whatever the case it may be, if they keep playing like that, LeBron James might become an alcoholic and need an intervention. So, ballin', LeBron James.
Interesting. Get back on the floor, LeBron.
Exactly.
Get back on the floor.
Yep.
I've got a ballin', and it goes to a combination of things. The PGA Tour, Amy, and Gary Woodland. Did you see that video?
I did not.
So the famous 16th hole at TPC Scottsdale. Always this week. It's the tournament this week, and it's awesome. 17th hole at Sawgrass is most famous hole in the world.
Yep.
Scottsdale has this ruckus crowd, and it's just a cool place. We went a few years ago when the Super Bowl was out there, and we actually saw when Tiger went through, so it was nuts. It was really cool. It was a bucket list type of thing for me to compare 17 and that 16. But yesterday, PGA Tour put out a video, and they had a young lady, I don't know her age, has Down syndrome, and she played the hole with Gary Woodland, professional golfer.
Very cool.
So they had her out there. And she hit a shot, and a nice swing, hit it into the bunker.
Yeah.
And then her sand shot went about probably some 6 to 8 feet away. A beautiful shot out of the sand. And then she made the putt for par.
No kidding.
And so that was awesome. I mean, it was just tremendous stuff. Go find it.
Yeah.
PGA Tour video. It's all over everything really now. Facebook, it's gone viral. And last I checked, it had like 2 million views on it. But what I thought was awesome as well, she was just tremendous. She made the whole thing. But I thought Gary Woodland made it too.
Mm-hmm.
Because Gary Woodland, in the moment there, I mean, this wasn't like a pre-recorded, then edited type of thing in this sense. He was just kind of, it was like we were all live going through it at the same time, because he was just like almost giddy laughing of how well she was doing.
That's awesome.
Like, couldn't believe it. You know, these guys play in pro-ams and they do all these things, and you see all types of golfers, like Stewart, kind of golf.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cheap shot.
But he just couldn't get over the fact on like that stage, on that hole, in
That's
this
a lot of
kind of
pressure.
deal. What she was saying was tremendous. I mean, she just kind of lit up the whole thing. But Gary Woodland really, you could see it was just genuine coming out of him. He wasn't acting at all. So ballin' for me is definitely that. And a little sidebar ballin' is got to be my daughter Kaylee, because she told me this last night. And she said she did it in math class. So I have 2 ball-ins today.
Okay.
She said, hey, Dad, you know how much the commercial is this year in the Super Bowl? I said, I have no idea. She said $5.3 million for a commercial this year in the Super Bowl. And she said in 1967 it was only $40,000. And they had to graph in math class, I guess, kind of the flow of the commercial rate over the years of the Super Bowl. So Kaylee was balling in math class and taught me a little something. I didn't know it was $40,000. I didn't know it was $5.3 million.
Well, I'm sure if Deontay Wilder wants to get his own commercial, just trade in some of that jewelry and he'll be good to go.
There you go. All right, quick falling.
That
took a lot of time. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm about to. I don't know if I'm going to cross the line here or not, but let's just go with it here.
Oh boy, get the delay button ready.
I thought we crossed the line in your ball-in segment.
Oh no, this is the big one here. All right, fallen. In what could be a possible search to find the perfect birth control technique, LSU Emmett Williams is rocking shorts that are so low his sperm count could possibly be at 0 right now. These things are so short that Larry Brown even called his basketball short game aggressive. He's a player from LSU. Check him out. And here's hoping that the LSU Tigers don't make the NCAA tournament, because if they do, this guy is one charge away from having a testicle pop out. Just saying, they're that short, and it is ridiculous. So, Emmett Williams.
Shouldn't that be ballin' then instead of falling?
Yeah, but let's be honest,
man.
It
could be free ballin'.
It could be free falling or
balling. Okay. Hit the button. Well, hey. So this wasn't about birth control or anything. This was about the guy's shorts, if you misinterpreted that.
No, exactly.
This guy, and I
saw
saw
the
picture.
Saying they're so
yes,
short that
I get
it could be,
we talked about this the other day. The shorts, the short shorts are in all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Why?
but these things, Brent, are a
no,
little
this was
off.
different.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Have you seen them, Stuart?
Oh, I unfortunately did. You can't unsee them.
Yeah, and just the audacity to wear them with such confidence and play such good basketball in them is just. It's beyond me.
By the way, how many times on this show am I going to have to remind you that kids do listen?
Yeah, what did I say that was so bad? What?
I just want you to be aware
Birth
of
control? I mean, hey, have that talk with your kids, folks. Let's go. Let's be serious here.
All right.
It's 2019.
On that note, let's bring in Stuart Weber. Good luck.
I'm not going to try and segue that at all, but I am here.
Oh, I wish you would.
No, I'm good. I'm just gonna be here and talk some sports.
Yeah, you are. Well, you talked to Maurice Jones-Drew.
I did.
Always good catching up with MJD.
Always good to catch up with him, and we get to do it quite frequently, which is nice.
We do. We see him at the draft. We see him here, and sometimes we see him back home in Jacksonville.
And unlike other, former players or media members, he genuinely always seems happy to see us. I love that.
Yeah, he really loves Jacksonville.
He does.
He does. I mean, he's a West Coast guy.
Yeah,
but he really does love Jacksonville.
Yeah, West Coast guy, and we get into this in the interview a little bit, but it's a special week for him.
Absolutely, and here's why. Stuart Weber with Maurice Jones-Drew.
This has got to be a pretty cool Super Bowl for you. You've been to a couple of them, but now it's one with a little more interest, a little more intrigue for you, just because of the fact that you've been so close with this team and working with the LA Rams.
Yeah, anytime you get a chance to follow guys and tell their story, it's always been amazing. And to see kind of how this team's formed from OTAs and free agency and draft to now, and that's been fun. And I guess that is why it's important, because I have a relationship with them. Either I've played against some of them, which is crazy, Got drafted with one of them, or two of them, Sullivan and Whitworth. And then on the other hand, just getting to know the younger players and really being able to help if they need to lean on someone, being that guy for them. But to tell their story and see how the hard work they put in, the things they've gone throughout the course of the season, it's been nice to see.
Turning the attention to Jacksonville, Leonard Fournette, an interesting offseason to say the least.
Well, I think as a whole, the Jacksonville organization has an interesting offseason. It's not just Leonard. I know Leonard will be there. A lot of people are focused on that, but there's a lot of questions other places. He's definitely a benchmark, though. You want to make sure that you get him back. You want to make sure that he's healthy. I'm going to write a piece called "If I Was Your GM." I'm definitely starting off with the Jags, though, because that's my heart. That's where my heart is, and that's where I did so much work there with those people. And I just want to say what I would have done if I was in that situation. I know Dave has done an amazing job over the last couple of years, but there are some times where we just have to say we messed up. And I think the Jags haven't done that. Sometimes just throwing money out in free agency isn't always the answer. You got to make sure you get the right people. I think they need more veteran leaders there in different rooms, the running back room being one of them. That's one thing that you'll read about. I can't give you everything, but.
Well, I'll ask you this. If you were the Jaguars GM, do you go with a young quarterback in the draft like Dwayne Haskins at 7? Or do you go with a Flacco, or you go with a guy up there in Foles? Yeah. What do you think?
I'm glad you asked that question. I was talking. I think possibly if Haskins is gone, you go Kyler Murray. I think Kyler's a guy. I could care less about size and height, and you gotta, because there's quarterbacks that are tall that are bad. There's quarterbacks that are short that are good. You just want a playmaker at that position. I think that's what Kyler Murray is, especially with his unique ability to run and make different angle throws. He's similar to Patrick Mahomes, and some of the things he's able to do. I'm not going to say he's Patrick Mahomes because I don't know how his game will translate, but that'd be a guy that I would try to get in that situation.
So Mojo, clearly a fan of Kyler Murray.
Yeah, good thing he caught himself on the Mahomes.
He did catch
comment.
himself there at the end there. That's a good job by him.
I knew Maurice Jones-Drew would love Kyler Murray.
Yeah, you just got to know that.
But see, again, I said it earlier on the show, I don't mind that right now and in April, but if my job was on the line and I'm thinking for the next 5, 10, 15 years at that position, you got to do a lot to talk me into that guy.
Yeah, he's maybe that guy if you also get Flacco.
Yes. Well, yeah, but yeah, because then you think you can take a chance.
You can do the same thing.
It's just a matter if you do. Flacco's kind of does feel like the ultimate bridge at 34. Foles to me still is like, okay, if he's trending up, maybe this is the resurgence like a Rich Gannon, and he still has a really good next 4, 5, 6 years in him.
True. Dude, and so it's great to hear Mojo and everything. One of the solid dudes of Jacksonville for sure. Obviously, he's doing a lot of things right now with broadcasting and whatnot. He's a pretty busy guy, but how bad would you guys want to see him come back to the Jaguars, be a coach in some kind of capacity, and help out Fournette?
Well, you just said it. You just said it right at the end. We're going to have a conversation with LaDainian Tomlinson tomorrow, and he talks about Fournette. And Mojo's talked about this. He said, hey, I'm here for you, man. Fred Taylor's talked about this. I'm here for you, man. Leonard Fournette needs to lean on those guys.
Yeah.
And they have to put the two together. But I know those guys haven't reached out. So it's more Fournette's going to say, hey, I'm willing to listen to you. You guys have good advice. You've been through this. Good catching up with Mojo, Weber.
Yep.
Weber getting it done here on ESPN 690 and on the TV side, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Maurice Jones-Drew calling the game for the Rams. Tony Baselli on the broadcast team as well for Westwood One. So 2 former Jags will be in the booth on Super Bowl Sunday. And we'll be back on ESPN 690 from Radio Row next.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Aaron, and all offseason, baseball fans have been waiting to see who lands Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. And while nobody has signed yet, we are seeing reports of Harper in Vegas today meeting with the San Diego Padres. It's been a really slow offseason for free agents. Red Sox President Dave Dombrowski says he's not sure why.
It's obvious that the market continues to last longer into spring training. And for me, I understand it because that's the way it is. I don't necessarily like it for the game, but I think right now that's the game that we're playing.
If you went to a Jaguar game in December, you may have noticed that amazing mural by sections 103 and 203. Now the Jags are saying they plan on adding 3 more to the stadium over the next 4 years. All of those murals will be Jacksonville related in theme. And finally, golf fans watching the Masters this year may notice some changes to the course. Specifically, the fifth hole has been lengthened from 455 yards to 495 yards. This brings the full length of the course near 7,500 yards in total. Not by a radio? No problem. Listen to us live at ESPN690.com by hitting the Listen Live button.
Boss, you're not going to believe it.
Whoa, settle down, Buttercup.
It's all over the internet. You know the ding-dong video cameras that are all the rage?
Yeah?
Well, reports are flooding in that engineers and executives at the company had highly privileged access to camera feeds.
Huh?
Boss, they've been spying on customers.
Really?
Yeah, just do an online search for doorbell spying. It's incredible.
Wow, I spy with my little eye.
Yeah, and since they've been bought out by that big mega corporation, you know customer surveillance can't be far behind.
Ooh, can you say Big Brother is watching?
No kidding. Boss, I don't understand why these folks don't just get a safe touch system. No one's hacking or spying on those things.
Yeah, well, that's another reason why we still have to live by the Crooks or Us motto. Stay away from safe touch houses.
Yeah.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Hey, it's Bill with Bill Fenwick Plumbing. You know the moment when your pipes have sprung a leak and there's water everywhere, or you wake up one of those few cold mornings and you find out the hard way that you have no hot water. Call us, Bill Fenwick Plumbing, for those unexpected moments that threaten to ruin your day. We know you're busy and we want to help you get back to your normal schedule as soon as you can. So next time you have one of those moments, call us or go to our website, BillFenwickPlumbing.com. We're here to help.
At AutoZone, helping you get more done is what we do best. Like with the AutoZone Rewards program. You'll earn a $20 reward every time you spend $20 or more 5 times. It's just one more way to get more done. And right now, get a $10 AutoZone gift card by mail when you buy a Sylvania Silver Star Ultra Headlight Twin Pack or 2 single packs purchased on the same sales receipt. Visit any of our 5,600 locations nationwide and let us do more for you. See terms at AutoZone.com/rewards. Restrictions and details in store.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for some straight talk. I'm ready for it. You want the best coverage, right?
Of course. Don't want the QB throwing any deep bombs.
I'm talking about coverage on your smartphone, Wingo.
Oh, I get you now. I want the best nationwide coverage then.
Well, you'll get it with Straight Talk. The same great 4G LTE networks as the big guys for up to 30% less.
Man, you got to grab that deal and run with it.
Take it to the house.
With nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks, get the Straight Talk $45 unlimited plan with 15 gigs of high-speed data. Only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Taking a drive to date night, or taking a drive for the kids to get to school, or how about taking the kids to practice? Do all of that in a new Hyundai from the new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on the new ESPN690, and our family loves our Hyundai Santa Fe. The new Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is now open for business. This new state-of-the-art Hyundai dealership was built from the ground up with you in mind. No matter what you do, day to day, take a drive with Hyundai. They offer a lifetime warranty that is good anywhere in the United States. And along with the low prices, exceptional service, and lifetime warranty, you know what else they have? A no-risk, no-pressure approach. If you are not 100% satisfied, you may return your vehicle in the first 7 days for your money back. The Hyundai you want, the service you deserve, all with Jenkins' exclusive lifetime warranty, no matter where you drive to. Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville.
From the NBA to the NFL, we've got you covered. The worldwide leader in sports. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690. You watch Action Sports Jacks on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Now Action Sports Jacks is on your radio. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Here's your host, Brent Martineau.
Welcome back here on ESPN 690, Action Sports Jacks on the radio. And, boy, it's been a busy show. Been a lot of fun, though, from Radio Row in Atlanta, Super Bowl 53. Thanks to Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson for jumping on in the last couple of segments. We've had Herschel Walker and Deontay Wilder, and you've heard from Maurice Jones-Drew and Nate Burleson. You'll hear from Brian Billick coming up in just a short time as well. Ballin' and Fallin', I forgot to give my Fallin', and it's real quick. Juju Smith-Schuster said today the Steelers have to stop being like the Kardashians, which means Juju is probably balling on the comment, but my fallen is the Steelers. And the Steelers really have to watch themselves. I've said it for years about the Steelers. They've been like a soap opera. Mm-hmm. They're like a daily drama. And you can only handle so much of that. I give a lot of credit for as much as they've been able to win and combat some of the distractions. That will show you how talented I think they have been and are. But we'll see where the Steelers end up. Without Le'Veon Bell, potentially without Antonio Brown, it might be a turning of the page in Pittsburgh, and I don't think they want to be another Kardashians episode.
Well, and especially in a Division II that's got the Cleveland Browns, who are starting to surge a little bit, and obviously the Ravens, who won it last year. Yeah, I mean, the Steelers got to get their act together. There's no doubt about that.
Welcome back to Radio Row. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane with you. And time to stay in your lane. These guys will drive back tonight, actually. Marcel is going to get back in Jax to help put together our 1 hour special that will air Saturday night, Making of a Champion, on CBS 47 and Fox 30. So I'll hold down the fort along with Stuart Weber Friday afternoon here on ESPN 690. But we have a ton of interviews that we've recorded, some things that Austin's already done. So it will be a good way to close out the week here from Radio Row and Super Bowl 53. So make sure you stay in your lane tonight. Make sure Marcel Robinson just goes 70, and that's it. But what is your stay in the lane?
Stay in your lane. Cruise control. I'm giving it to the Florida Gator student section. Listen, there's nothing quite like college basketball fandom, and the Florida Gator student section took it to a whole nother level as the Ole Miss Rebels were in town. The Runnin' Rebels got downgraded last night to the Stumbling Rebels as a player of the team tried to hit up a female who goes to the University of Florida on Tinder.
Whoa.
The result of that was an intimate conversation that they had back and forth, which was blown up into giant posters and scattered all around the student section at Florida. Listen, I'm all for shooting your shot and everything like that, but if you're going to shoot your shot, make sure it's not in your opponent's gym.
Wow. How about that?
I like it.
That's creative.
It is creative, yeah.
From the Crazies?
Yes.
Weber used to be a part of the Crazies.
And I use the term intimate very loosely here. I mean, there was some interesting things that were put on the thing.
Thanks for not sharing those.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. We've gone close to the edge already a couple of times. I say Crazies, Rowdies, sorry. Thanks, Weber. Thanks for telling me. I don't even, they shouldn't be called anything because it's not like they're unbelievable anyway. Weber says they were. Yeah, what year were you there? 2005 and 2006, 2 titles, national champs back-to-back for the Florida Gators. You brought up the Gators. Good win for the Gators last night, actually. It was a nice win, and they needed it. We'll talk more as we get closer to March and when we get away from the Super Bowl about the Gators and what they might have to do to get to the NCAA tournament, if they even have a fighter's chance. They're an interesting basketball team, so I'm glad you brought that up. We could mention the win from last night. UNF, by the way, lost on the road at Kennesaw State. It was a bad loss for UNF. They've lost 5 in a row. It's shocking. I don't think they're that bad of a basketball team, but right now they're in a bit of a funk. And JU wins again. They beat Stetson, so a good win for the JU Dolphins. That's your basketball talk here on Thursday from Super Bowl 53. Good job. Nice shout-out to the Rowdies there in Gainesville with that. And that's a good one on Stay in Your Lane. What about Pumping the Brakes?
Pumping the Brakes. This kind of pains me to do it because it's back home, but Marquette University.
Oh.
You guys got a good basketball team right now, but your university's got to pump the brakes a little bit. Marquette was just announced that they are going to be the first college to offer full ride scholarships for e-gaming. Look, I'm a gamer. I've always been a gamer. I'm always going to be a gamer. I love video games. But we can't keep calling this a sport. If you can wear sweatpants and not break a sweat in it, it's not a sport. Competitive gaming, competitive eating. Guess what? If you have to put the word competitive in front of it, it's not a sport. It's an activity. Let's get off the whole esports bandwagon, please, everybody.
Interesting. I like that for a bigger topic down the road. That's a good pump your brakes. But it's interesting because at my alma mater, Ashland University, they give scholarships for it now. It's a sport.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a way for the colleges, from my view, to not only take advantage of, obviously, a groundswell of people that play video games, also give them an outlet as a sport, but also I think it helps them with admissions and also the numbers with Title IX. I believe there's something behind it with all of that. So it's a bigger, deeper dive, and something we won't get into right now. But I like how you brought that up because it's happening, man. It's happening in high schools all around the country.
Yeah.
Scholarships are going to be earned from esports.
In your opinion, do you think gaming is a sport?
I don't feel like it is. I mean, for a lot of the reasons you said. but I think it's an adjustment by whether it's the sports world or the competitive nature of people to say, we have to acknowledge that so many kids are doing this and so many people are doing this, we should embrace it.
Well, and sport or not, it is one of the biggest things in the whole world right
Exactly.
now. I mean, it's on a global scale. So whether you think it's a sport or not, there's no denying that it's actually a big, big thing.
All right, Kuz, I want to bring you back in. Do I have time for Brian Billick before we go to break?
Oh, man, we always have time.
All right, then I want to let some folks hear what Brian Billick had to say because I think he's very insightful. Brian Billick, very good, the former Super Bowl winning coach of the Baltimore Ravens, now, of course, part of the NFL Network team of analysts, does a really nice job and gave us some perspective on Tony Boselli, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and, of course, quarterbacks.
You look at these quarterbacks in college now, about 20% of their throws, you can say, okay, that's going to be an NFL throw. So that means if a guy throws the ball 400 times in a season, I've got about 60 to 70 throws that I can look at to say, yes, I'm going to give that guy $80 million and put my franchise in his hands as a first-round pick. That's not a lot.
If you're stuck in a situation like the Jags are in Jacksonville, because of what you just said, would you rather go get a Foles or a Flacco and know what you've got a little bit?
What are the options? How do you rate the college rags? Do you think you have a guy that can come in? You've got a proven entity in guys like Flacco and Foles. That transition has not been very successful, so you've got to look at that history. You got to look at what's wrapped around them and can they plug and play in terms of what you're doing. And then you pay your money and you take your chances. You go draft the guy, and that's a 50-50 proposition at best. At best. Any coach that tells you he knows what it is to play quarterback in the NFL, guaranteed, and I know how to draft him, is lying. Lying to himself. It's a 50-50 crapshoot.
I heard you mention Flacco. What do you think he does have left?
I think he has everything left. I think he's an excellent quarterback. He's going to be from the pocket. He's got a strong arm. He's got a good intellect. If you wrap the right, of course, this is always a stupid thing to say. If you wrap the right team around, you wrap the right team around me, I can win. Throwing the ball. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I see no reason why Joe Flacco can't continue to be successful, configured in the right circumstances around him.
We're starting to get a little upset in Jacksonville that Tony Boselli isn't in the Hall of Fame yet. You know him well. You obviously coached against him. What's your thoughts on Tony?
I'm biased because I'm still pissed off he didn't come to Stanford when I recruited him. So I hope he gets punished for that. I'm kidding. He's a Hall of Famer. Now, is he a first ballot, second ballot? I don't know. He's a Hall of Fame tackle in my book. No question about it.
One last one for you. When I say the Jaguars, they're coming up on their 25-year anniversary. What do you think about? What comes to mind as a guy who's been around it?
I was with an organization that was kind of, I grew up an NFL fan. I'm a Rams fan. I was a huge Viking fan. I was with the 49ers, the tradition. It's everything NFL. And then I go to a club that's, when I came to them, they were 4 years old with a funky-looking bird on the head going, Jesus. And then we built a basis and success, and now 26 years later or whatever it is, it's kind of cool, and now they're very legitimate, and you can, those that were involved with it can be very proud of that startup and what they've been able to do. The missing piece right now is you got to win a Super Bowl.
I really enjoyed listening to Brian Billick talk. Super Bowl winning coach, Baltimore Ravens, said, to get relevant and to be memorable as an organization, the Jags need to win a Super Bowl. And the Ravens were able to do that early on. Jags came so close early on and almost got there a year ago. But how about what he said about the quarterbacks, too? Nice Tony Boselli story about the quarterbacks. And Joe Flacco said, what has he got? He's got everything left, he said. Very interesting comments. I mean, he went all in on Flacco. I wonder if the Jags feel the same way. One more timeout to come here on a Thursday from Radio Row, Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta. When we come back, hot takes to end it on ESPN 690.
News 104.5 WOKV is now exclusively on 104.5 FM. News 104.5 WOKV is where you'll find the latest breaking news, First Alert Storm Center coverage, and traffic alerts. 690 is where you'll find the home of the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN 690, featuring Golick and Wingo in the morning, Dan Levitard, and Stephen A. Smith. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690.
Hi, it's Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park, where our no-bull pricing and express sales process will have you out the door in your new Chevy fast. No bull means transparent, easy-to-understand pricing without the gimmicks or fluffy add-ons that just slow the process down. Fast, fair, and transparent is what you can always expect at Gordon Chevy. And right now, we have our new Silverados starting at $24,900, our new Colorado starting at $23,900, only at the money-saving end of Blanding Boulevard and online at GordonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Hire the wrong roofer? Get it fixed at jnmroofing.com. Missing shingles? jnmroofing.com. Small pond in your living room every time it rains? jnmroofing.com. Bad golfers pelting your roof with golf balls? jnmroofing.com. Made it through the hurricane last year but probably won't this year? jnmroofing.com. Selling your home and need a new roof? jnmroofing.com. When you need a roofing company, we're the ones with the umbrella. We got you covered at jnmroofing.com. License number CCC 1330298.
Mom, I've really enjoyed our time together, but I need my own space. I need more room to stretch, to grow. I need to see the world. I mean, I appreciate how nice it is here, but I'm thinking somewhere new, modern, spacious, with a nice view and with great service. A place where all the cool kids go. I'm thinking UF Health North. Yeah, UF Health North.
Learn more at north.ufhealthjacks.org/babies.
From Daytona Beach to Brunswick, now ESPN can be heard loud and clear everywhere on one of the most powerful AM radio stations in Florida. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. This is ESPN 690.
This is Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Welcome back from Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta, Georgia. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson, all here in the ATL. Justin Kuzart back home still dissecting that Knicks trade with the Mavs. Oh, the Drive and Dish podcast is going to be hot this week.
Everything's already planned out.
I would say you didn't have to dig too deep on topics this week, right?
Zero show prep needed to happen for this one.
That'll be good, and that will be out soon. By the way, speaking of podcasts, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Podcast will also be unleashed soon. It's going through the process of being approved. Do you have an update?
Oh, yeah, an update. Tune in. The app just sent me an email, said that it has been approved, and it will be on the app in 24 hours.
How about that?
Now we're talking, Brent. Now we're making some money, huh?
I just saw Tune In over there. They've got a booth set up, so appreciate it. You know, we're on a bunch of platforms. Right now we're on Twitch. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We are on my Twitter handle.
Mm-hmm.
We are on, obviously, ESPN 690 AM in your car. We are on ESPN690.com on the stream.
Mm-hmm.
We are on TuneIn app.
Yep.
iHeart Radio app.
Yep.
And what am I missing? Now a podcast.
Now a podcast. We've officially taken over the world.
We really have.
Yeah.
If you can't find us, you ain't looking hard enough.
If you can't find us, lose our number right now. Seriously. Come on.
We'll take you. We'll take you down the road, too. Just come back.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. Sorry. My bad.
All right. Let's put a bow on the show. And your last segment from Radio Row this week.
Yeah.
You won't be here tomorrow. Unfortunately, I know it. But it's just kind of the way the travel schedule works.
No, I hear you. But can I just say, if you get John Jones or some big or Halle Berry on the show, I'm going to be pretty pissed.
Oh.
I just want to let you know right now.
I would be too if I got Halle Berry on the show.
Yeah, and I wasn't here. Okay, just want to let you know that, Brent. Just want you to throw it out there.
He will block you on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I will block you on Twitter.
You have not unblocked Kuz.
No.
That's
absolutely
awesome.
not.
That's tremendous.
I'm going to consider it when he sees the movie, and we can go from there.
Okay. I like it. You've got a deadline to hit somewhere in there, Kuz. Other than that, though, I mean, you got Wilder on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
We got Herschel Walker on.
Yep.
I mean, what else did you want?
Diamond Dallas Page.
Diamond Dallas Page?
Yeah.
I mean, what else would have been on your wish list? Anybody?
Man, we kind of covered all bases, I feel like. Maybe like an actor or an actress, man.
I haven't seen a lot of those around.
No, exactly. And beggars can't be choosers here. I'm happy with the work that I got to do this week. So
someday, like The Rock needs to come by.
I know, right?
I've never seen him on Radio Row. I've been here 7 years in a row.
Rockers. I think Stone Cold Steve Austin would be the get
That
to
would
me
be
because I
good.
mean that's a guy I grew up idolizing.
Weber,
so.
you said Rock's too big? Oh, too busy?
Yeah, guy's got like 25 movies coming out this year already.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Too busy. Come on. Too busy. He can find time to come over to Atlanta for a few hours if he wishes. Problem is, he doesn't need it.
Yeah,
he doesn't need to do it.
What does he need to do? He's the #1 action star in the world right now. What are you trying to promote something? Like people are going to go see him. It doesn't really matter, does it? Yeah.
I think we're going to work on that. Someday we'll get The Rock on.
Okay. That'd be cool.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find friends who know friends who have friends in big places.
Yeah. I could probably
not low places.
I could probably
big
start
places.
making some phone calls and see what happens. Yeah.
That would be good. All right. You got some hot takes for us, Coos, before we get out of here?
Oh, yeah. And I got a real spicy one to start off with.
Ooh.
All right. This one says Tom Brady has been talking about how he wants to stay in the league for a few more years. I guarantee he makes it to the Super Bowl at least half of his years left.
All right, so say he has 4 years after this one. Plays at 42, 43, 44, 45. Will he go to 2 more Super Bowls? Good take. No, he won't. This is it. This is it for the Patriots run right here. They're done. They didn't even expect this one. That's why they are in love with it right now. I think that's why they're at ease. I think that's why they've showed like they are loose and having fun, which they never usually do. And I think Tom Brady realizes that. I think Belichick realizes that. Gronk is going to be gone. They have to revamp a little bit, and Brady's skills will deteriorate a little bit. They might not just go bam off a cliff, but they will deteriorate a little bit. If he plays 4 more, if he plays 3 more, if he plays 2 more, this is the last time the New England Patriots will go to a Super Bowl.
Unbelievable. Going against the GOAT all of a sudden. Here's my thoughts. Who's going to beat him in the next couple years? The Chiefs, possibly, with Mahomes? I mean, listen, Mahomes showed that he's going to be a special talent, but what's to say he might not have a little digression the next couple years?
How about the Colts?
Colts looked all right, but I'm still taking the Patriots. I
How about the
honestly think Chargers defense, man, come on. They're going to lose some guys coming up here pretty soon. Like, listen, the way the Patriots are set up, it's genius because, number one, Brady's not a high-paid quarterback, and if you look at that roster, they can afford to pretty much keep everybody. The Chargers can't say that. The Colts probably can say that, especially, hey, we'll see if Bell goes to Indianapolis. That's kind of a rumor going around there, too. If Bell goes to Indianapolis, then, yeah, I kind of like their chances as well. But I'm taking Brady, man.
Of course the Patriots can keep everybody. Nobody wants any of them other than Brady.
Well, hey, they're the Super Bowl and we're covering them here, Brent. So obviously they're doing something right.
I've actually, I shouldn't say nobody, but still, like McCourty may retire. Gronk's going to retire.
I mean, if we're talking about the Patriots, they do pretty well drafting as well. So let's not throw that out there.
True. And sooner or later they'll run out of luck.
Eventually.
And they've had luck with a lot of they've had some good fortune. Let's just say that. That's not all luck. I'm just saying they have a good fortune.
I agree, but if you have Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, they create their own luck.
Yeah, they have so far. All right, what you got? Another one?
All right, another one. Juju Smith cannot be a part of the Steelers franchise. He's clearly not buying into the culture they have spent years making.
Nah. He's the future of them.
Absolutely.
I think he's a star. I think what he said about the Kardashians, which I just had in the Fallen part of Ballin' and Fallen, is right on the money. And I actually think sometimes it's addition by subtraction. Le'Veon Bell goes. Antonio Brown goes. That might, believe it or not, make the Pittsburgh Steelers better and put them over the top.
I don't agree with that because I think a big part of Juju Smith-Schuster's success was having Brown on the other side. We haven't seen him as a legit one receiver yet. That's to be determined. He might blow everyone's doors down and be the real deal. We'll see with that if Brown doesn't come back. But here's what I think about it. And I think Schuster is for sure a lifetime Steeler. If you look at the Pittsburgh organization, one thing that's always set them apart from everybody else is the fact that they stick by their draft picks if they're performing well. You hardly ever see a draft pick from Pittsburgh go someplace else. Now, granted, Bell kind of threw that to the wayside, and maybe Brown's going to throw it to the wayside too. But usually, they stay loyal to their draft picks, and that's why they've had so much success. Even if it comes down to maybe taking a pay cut, where you can make some money, in a different spot. Pittsburgh is pretty loyal to their draft picks, and I think Schuster's got the right personality. Doesn't seem like an ego-driven guy. I mean, granted, he's got his dancing and things like that, but I think overall as a team player, I think guys like playing with him, and I can see him being a Steeler for a long time.
Yeah, I do too. I think he's a good talent. He's a good talent. Be interesting where the Steelers might be the most interesting team in the NFL going into 2019.
Agreed.
With whatever happens to Antonio Brown and whatever happens to Le'Veon Bell, basically Bell's foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
He will not be there. And what happens to Ben Roethlisberger? Roethlisberger could be one of those guys that ages in a hurry and falls off the cliff.
True.
He's taken a lot of hits. He's put that body through the ringer. It feels much different than what Tom Brady's gone through.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's just because Ben doesn't have, like, the greatest body in the world.
Yeah.
I think. Not that Brady does, but you know that he's taking care of it because of all the diets and no sugar and no coffees on.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what happens with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's Hot Takes, and that's a show on a Thursday and a lot of fun. Hope you had fun. Super Bowl 53, man.
This was a blast. I appreciate the opportunity here, Brent. It's definitely some memories I'm taking with me for a lifetime, so I appreciate Atlanta.
First one of many. Austin Lane will be heading back along with Marcel Robinson tonight to Jacksonville. Drive safe. I'll be here tomorrow. More of Austin Lane's interviews, more of my interviews. Stuart Weber will join me for a good portion of the show. Just coming up tomorrow, by the way, we'll have Jed Fish, the former Jags offensive coordinator. We'll hear from Sean O'Hara. We also will have Cliff Averill on the program and much, much more on a Friday, including some Jaguars like Yannick Ngakoue and hopefully more.
So before we leave, Brent, Super Bowl bet. Who are you taking?
I'm taking the Patriots.
I'll take the Rams then. So be it. Let's do it.
We'll figure out what the prize is coming up.
Sounds like
For
a plan.
Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson, Austin Lane, and Justin Kuzar, I'm Brent Martineau from Radio Row. Super Bowl 53. Have a good night. I'll see you on TV. Let's
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Aaron. The Jaguars in Exalta have partnered to add a fresh coat of paint to TIAA Bank Field in the form of larger-than-life murals around the stadium's main concourse. The first mural made its debut this past December, but over the course of the next 4 years, 3 more Jacksonville-themed murals will be created in other corners of the stadium. And folks watching the Masters this year may notice some significant changes to the course. Already considered one of the tougher holes in Augusta, the par 4 fifth